stadiums are the
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Carolina, by contrast, has been a fast-starting team. Here's Howden. He scores! Got free from the defense and scored again. Penalty. Here's Howden. And even strength. And he scores! Brett Howden again!
Shea underneath it, a touch. Bo Armstrong can't find it. It drops. It goes all the way to the ivy. Here goes Shea. He will be sent home by Bobby Crosby. The relay throw is late. Shea is safe. Faced his dad 2 times that year. Now Junior going deep to right. And it is off the padding and brick.
Oh, he's got
Acuna with a bullet. But Guerrero just beats it. Clemens pulls it to right, deep towards the corner, back it goes, and that ball is gone. Cody Clemens homers again. A multi-homer night for Cody. He has 8 this season. Twins lead by 2. It's 5-3 at Target Field.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing, man?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
I'm just waiting for a little sneaky link.
I just emailed one to you over at the non-work address.
Yeah. I will be patiently waiting.
That's good. Were you patiently waiting for Carolina to score at some point last night?
Yeah, so I didn't finish watching hockey until about 10 after 1, like legit.
Yeah, because when did you get home?
I opened the garage at about 9:58.
Okay.
So
That's when you got back from Lincoln?
Yeah.
A long day.
Yeah. We left about 2:50.
Yeah, it's a long day.
And, it used to be longer. When he would have these camps, he said he would go North Philly. They'd go like 6 hours. He's like, yeah, that's just too long. And I thought 4.5, 5 hours was too long. But it's just interesting, like the new structures now, what you can and can't do. He was pulling the flag football coach, the Sours coaches to the side, like teaching them how to like set up their camps and stuff, because it has to be in their name and their else. Like it's such a different world in terms of how you can have schools camp and when you can keep the money, when you can't keep the money, the entities. And I think it's just things that we take for granted, but being able to navigate the system to maximize the revenue for the school, there's a trick to it.
So talk because I've always wondered about this. Like, what is the structure of these camps, right? Like, you go down there, because I had when you say, hey, they used to be 6 hours, now they're 4.5. Like, I kind of thought they were an all-day thing. Like, what is the setup? And also, like,
so the registration was unbelievably fast.
Okay.
They had, they went like, it's kind of standard, right? A through whatever, whatever through whatever. But it moved quick because there were a lot of kids, and they had the big man camp the night before, and they split it. Like, half the camp was inside, and then the bigs, the hybrids, and the D-line would be outside, and then halfway through, one of the coaches would speak to the campers, and then they would flip. So you test, you get measured. Then it's a ton of drill work, by position. The players and coaches work you out. And then you do one-on-ones. It's basically a long form practice setting, but they let you accentuate offense and defense. So they get a good look at you.
Do they? So when you talk about testing, is it just like, hey, how tall, or are they doing like 40? Is like a combine thing?
It's like a combine thing.
So, because I'll be honest, see, there was some reports on the camp yesterday that were sent out. I can't remember what recruiting site they're from. Let's see here. Was that 24/7 or Husker Online? The one that talked about Micah?
All three did.
Okay.
So Inside Nebraska, Huskers Online, and 247.
So there's, they talk about they call out Micah,
right,
and then they also call out Hunter Conkey, from Elkhorn North.
Good athlete.
So and I'm not trying to put a kid on blast or anything, but when they are reporting a 4.39, is that from Nebraska or from Elkhorn North?
That's from Elkhorn North.
Okay, because this is why, for what it's worth, this is why I think part of these camps are, and this is why I asked about the structure.
Yeah.
Those are the measurements.
Yeah.
Might have to take a look at those later. Part of the reason I ask about these is because a lot of times I get the sense that Nebraska wants to make sure.
Oh yeah. They verify everything. And then I like the way they do it. And it's like most camps. Although it's not like I can talk from super experience, because I famously had a kid that was anti-camp, and I have one now that is like, and you can only do 3 at Westside, so you have to have 90% summer participation, or it's just an uphill fight. So they suggest to parents in one of our 17 parent meetings, no more than 3 camps, preferably on the weekend. We don't like conflict. So, those are that's just part of when I say, like, it's not exactly for everybody. And they do make some deals, but they want verified time. So once you pop a certain time or you jump so far or whatever, you kind of go to like this hotline, and then it's like, oh, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Send you over to a couple coaches, and but that's just the start of it.
Okay.
And they go through it. They're extremely efficient. And it's set up because they have a ton of bodies, and they use, the majority of their real staff and a lot of the players. So,
like, ballpark, how many kids are we talking about?
Oh, I would say last night maybe 200.
Okay.
Not including the big man camp the night before, and they have 2 more nights.
Yeah. But like 200 a night's a reasonable estimation.
It's reasonable estimation. Yeah, and so
that's like a lot could be 100 or it could be 500.
Yeah, I see exactly how they get a head start. Like, I'm sure TV and anybody else that we'll talk to, there were definitely probably let's say 14, 15 guys that they will definitely be recruiting.
Yeah.
Right. And
Like
they
really
have,
jump out.
yeah, they have legit times. And, a couple guys came up from Chicago that have family already playing, and they'll be recruited.
Mhm.
It just, there's a quarterback 2030. What number was he? He was number 106. I'm not going to say his name just because I don't have permission to do so. But when I tell you, like, different,
Comes out of his hand different.
man, I left my own watch party. I was like, I'm just going to come check this out.
I got to go look at that guy.
So what did you say? 2029? You said 2030?
Yeah.
Dad came.
So that means he's gonna be a sophomore.
It's going to be a freshman.
Oh, geez. All right.
And he plays behind Heward's kid. So,
Okay.
I mean, so there were probably somebody legit standing broad jumped 11 feet.
Dang.
Listen,
That's like full grown adult.
like, again,
Like that's a good measure at the combine.
yeah.
You jump 11 feet at the combine, you're in like elite company.
Right, I went 10-4.
Yeah.
And I was tickled. I was like, woohoo.
Wait, what were you like?
Woohoo. Jamel Williams.
Yeah.
Fantastic athlete.
Yeah.
Drafted by the Redskins.
Mhm.
Broad jumped almost 11 feet.
Yeah.
You talk about a gifted athlete.
Yeah, I would say Jamel's a freak.
Like
Freak.
probably the most slept on athletic. There's nothing. And he had like 24 knee surgeries.
Yeah.
But I mean, super explosive. Mike Minner, second round draft pick, right?
Yeah.
10-8.
Really long NFL career.
Yeah. Sensational player.
Yeah.
You listen to the Thomas Davis interview on Pivot Podcast.
Mhm.
Georgia, Carolina linebacker Thomas Davis. Yeah. One of the first names he brings up, Mint.
Mhm.
He said, little guy, but man, he'd knock your block off. I was like, yeah, that's the same dude, right? Like, long NFL career. So, like, you're an elite. I mean, there was a legit 21.02 200 meter. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he looked like Austin, and that dude could run. And he's out here with like no bones in his body.
Are you saying I can't?
No, yeah, I'm definitely saying that.
You're more of a distance guy.
My man was like Gumby out there. A couple wide receivers in town were really good. I thought Cash, my man Buddha's son, Joe Wilkes, was sensational. Twin Bing looks just like his goddamn dad. It is apparently his wife's the better looking one of the two, but if Cash got her looks, she must look an awful lot like Buddha because they're the same person. And you know who is nice?
Who?
Will Manning, Coach Manning's son.
Oh, yeah?
Man, there's a reason he led the state in tackles.
Okay.
Athletic.
Yeah.
Big, thick neck. Super humble. Like, has his dad's mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like intense. Coach Manning that's who I spent most of my time with.
Yeah. I'm a little fast. I'd like to talk to him. Can we talk to him?
Yeah. So, Coach Manning or not Roy or
Roy.
Oh,
you're talking about Mark.
Next. So he was very interesting.
Okay.
So I got him to the side and I was like, hey, because I told you, I'm like, yeah, we got to get Coach. And he's like, yeah. But his delivery would lead me to believe, like, yeah, he ain't all about it. Because he's very pragmatic.
Yeah.
He's, oh, man. Then he came up like 5 minutes later after everybody was kind of saying their goodbyes because, some of the kids that really camped well were off to the coaches. So I let him do his thing. And, when I got ready to leave, he's like, yeah, man, hit me up. Like, I got you. And I was like, okay, book it. Like, pretty good.
Yeah, he's fascinating to me.
Yeah. I was talking to Brendan Stye, who did a very good job of reminding me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen a lot early over the last 5 months of just teaching, and he backpats me, and he's like, "We got 3.5 more months of OTAs. We've got to get into the season. Let's just see if this continues." I was like, "Ah, damn, B, like, here you go being all rational." No, but it's pretty efficient. I'm back today, and one more time this weekend for the visits, and I will be Lincolned out for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to shut her down.
May not hear from me much this weekend.
No, I may shut her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to recharge.
Sure. No, it's a lot.
You see, it's like I get the shakes. Yeah. It's like, and I have to.
I haven't been in my house enough.
Well, we got our own team, and it's. I figured out this is not a black couch moment. So Kyle, if you're my Kyle, the black couch Kyle, like I doubt he's listening. Even though when we talk Miller North baseball, he's probably all in. But
was Kyle Miller North guy?
His son.
Oh, no wonder he's such a good guy.
I knew the last name.
Yeah, it just didn't click.
And I was like, God, I just watched your son against Westside. And this was probably, I don't know, I've only been saying, it's, and he doesn't like to be super personable.
Sure.
Remember I told you I wasn't going to go back because I didn't think, I'm like, you're not even for me. Like, why am I coming here?
Yeah.
He's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, tell me more. Why doesn't it work like that? Anyway, I figured there's a lot of things at play, right? So you have guys that you're camping against that you may play against. You have guys that you support because they're going to be part of the university that you're going to be playing against. I have a kid who he put his AirPods in the whole way down. But he said all of gate 14, right, Dad? Gate 14, right, Dad? He said less than 5 words on the way down. Got in line by himself, the backpack, the whole nine. I had to call him to see where he was after.
Sure.
I mean, that's not normal. So, hey, where are you at? I'm in the indoor talking to such and such, waiting for you. Oh, I'm in the lobby. I'm trying to stay. All right, I'll be. He's just a weird dude. But the whole, his brother had one of the stations. Worked him out. I don't know. Like, you'd think that'd be cool. I don't know if he's cool with that. Right? Like he reads a write-up and it's like son of this, brother of this. Like he just doesn't rock like that. And it killed my buzz like on the way home because that's not what he wants to hear or see. Right? So it was funny too because they're all doing their drills and there was a particularly good group. And a couple of the coaches pulled like 3 or 4 off to the side. They went and did their own thing. So Sip and Sean were like, "Oh, they're like, TB, like that's that's my." And I was like, "I'm not going over there." I'm like, "This." I said this, and Gas Can of all people was like, "Man, come on." I said, "Listen, this is the duality of it. Like most dads would like be all in. Guys are filming. They're doing." I said, So this is hard, man. Like I gotta chill. And Sip goes, "Are you grow up? You serious? Like, let's go." And I was like, "Oh, you twisted my arm." But that's the struggle. What I mean? Like that's exactly how it played out. And so it's like I'm glad I have some practice, but this is gonna be tough.
So I've told you this before. I like Micah's mindset because I think he's just kind of built for doing hard things. But he probably does need to learn, like, hey, there's a difference between giving context of whose son and brother you are and comparing you to those people.
Yeah,
because with the Manning thing, right? Like you had to give context of which Manning we were talking about because I had no idea. Yeah. Like there's other people with your last name. Yep. It happens, like you got to give a little context there.
And it is a long night, right? Yeah. That's which is why I was glad I had hockey because I'm like, hey, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
This is and people can, I'm like, yeah, he's had a birthday, he's sophomore, and I'm not gonna be built for this for 2 years. I'm just not. So it's like, but a lot of good. I mean, to watch him and Trae Taylor go back and forth I'm like, Breeze, it's cool, man. You know, Trae wanted to take a picture. Trae was like very. He liked him. He liked him passingly.
Yeah.
So he wanted to take a picture.
Yeah.
Micah wouldn't smile. And Trae, like I'm dead dog serious. This is just the weird dynamics.
Yeah.
Trae was like, look, man, smile for the picture, man. Come on. Like he's known him for 30 years. I was like, oh my God, this is not gonna end well. Like you can't
yeah.
But I'm way off to the side. I let them do their thing with the coaches and Mike is mad. You know? He's like, there'll be time for that after the season. I'm like, chill.
Yeah.
Just because Trae is super good natured.
Well,
and he's exactly, and I'm not, this doesn't have anything to do with wins and losses. He's exactly like you think when it comes to wanting people that he's not just cheering for his guys necessarily. You have to be a specific kind of guy because he's parsing through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, definitely different. Definitely different. And you can see him like kind of pulling guys to the side about how to get reps and how to attack it and, you know, not settling and bad body language. And I'm like, how old are you, man?
Yeah.
Like it's intentional. Like he's been raised that way.
Yeah.
He's been
kind of
raised.
Need someone like, again, I have no idea what it translates to at the college level, but like you kind of need someone who's willing to tell the guys that are a little bit like more surly, like Micah, to be like, hey man, freaking smile.
Listen, the dude,
like you need somebody who's willing to just say that.
He jumped the fence.
Yeah.
To come to passing lane.
Yeah.
He up by the vines. They're the only two players over there. At somebody else's 7-on-7. What we doing, man? And he doesn't give a what. You know, that's checking out the action. I'm telling you, 2 bleeps.
Yeah.
But not ill will.
No, yeah. It's funny because I think there's a common thread between Trae and Micah, and it's the not giving 2 bleeps, but it manifests itself in very different ways.
Yeah, and then conversely, I can look at guys like there are a couple of other guys. I can talk about Cash in particular just because I think I would have permission, right? I don't want to talk about other people's. I mean, I can,
yeah,
but it's like Cash, very, very different in his demeanor, very engaging, huge smile. Was kind of gracious with reps until he figured out the game, right? Like when you get pulled to the side or you get different coaching and then you get your one-on-ones, get as many reps as you can.
Yeah.
And if other guys are standing around watching the paint dry,
go ahead and get back.
Get reps.
Yeah.
Get reps because that's how it goes. And over time, because he looked to be in like elite level shape. He could get rep after rep.
Is Cash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Long arms. Like clearly wants to be here, which is a big thing, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
There were probably about 14 or 15 of those. I can't. I got this quarterback though. I'm floored.
Really?
Yeah. I watched. So he had a separate throwing session for like 25 minutes. It was incredible. I think thin, long, so he's clearly going to grow because he's just a pup. But watching it come out of his hand, it reminded me of a senior getting dusted off in the playoffs, Tamala. Remember I told you when the ball just comes out of his hand, it's like he's not really trying, and then it's out.
Yeah.
Super tight. It's not quite, it's because the prettiest spiral, I think, is Braylon, all by his side. Like he throws a
pretty ball.
Pretty ball.
Yeah.
But just the effort, that's how it came out of this kid's hand. And I'm like, how early is I think he has one major offer, just the one
already.
And it came within the last handful of days. It will not be long. It will not be long.
Well, I mean, I think people started talking to Trae in like between 8th grade and freshman year.
Yeah. He's not as tall as I thought, but he's long.
Yeah. Got really long arms.
Yeah, he's long.
He's
long.
I think that's how some people felt when they saw, because I don't know. I think a lot of Nebraska people maybe hadn't seen a ton of Trae throwing yet.
Mhm.
And so when our guys put out the video from Millard South a couple days ago, and you saw some of the balls like hop out of his hands or at the Elite 11 camp, but like I think people were like, oh, that looks different.
Yeah. Sometimes you can just tell when guys spin. I was watching a couple guys run routes. And they kept routine. I mean, they were going like every 4 reps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that wide receiver DB group, there's 50 guys.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the same 12
Getting the reps.
were getting that work.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, like, you're here.
Do something about it.
Like, now's the time. And, but everybody's different in that setting. But really, really well done. I was talking to a couple of the local coaches. So I'm talking Wayne, who I'm huge fans of, Midland. There were some other coaches in attendance, and one of the coaches pulled me to the side, and he's asking about this, that, and the third, and he said we were at the big man camp the night before, and he said, I've only known you for a couple years, so I'm being honest here. He said that was the best big man run camp that they had seen in the last 6-7 years. And I'm just like, that tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. I mean, first 2 out there were first 3, Coach Corey Brown, Teasley, Jeep Wade.
Yeah.
I'm over watching Coach Brown, not just because I want to steal a few drills, but
yeah,
like that's just, I enjoy watching him teach. You can tell he hasn't always had super high end, but
talent.
he knows how to maximize, because there's a difference between coaching and teaching.
Yeah, so we were talking about this yesterday.
My
Austin
man was,
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But that was off air.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So to your ask that again, because you kind of came in during it was either before the show or during a break. What did you ask me again?
Yeah, it was before the show started, and I had the coach wrong. It wasn't Arizona State, it was Florida State. And the coach was talking on a show about coming from the NBA, where he was coaching guys and coaching professional. But then when he became the head coach of Florida State, he was in his first like 5 or 6 games, and his assistant coach, who had been a long time coach in college, had told him, hey, the reason you're struggling and the reason the guys aren't grasping what you're talking about is because you're coaching, not teaching. And so he had to relearn what it meant the difference was between the two. So I wanted to ask you, like, is that significant, especially at the college level, and what is the difference in that?
Yeah, I think so. To that's fantastic segue, because I think to that point, depending on where you've come from, right, from high to low or low to high, I think it totally dictates how you coach. When you're used to overseeing more high-end talent, that's more about coaching, right? It's philosophy, it's topical, it's like looking for nuances like tightened splits or pressure on the hand or seeing things before they happen.
But it's a point where you say, when you see those things, you say it and you just expect it to be done.
Yeah, and right. Versus,
like if John Butler saw something at Buffalo,
it's a good point.
Like if John Butler saw something at Buffalo to one of his defensive backs, and he says, "Hey, this is what's happening in this situation. Do this instead."
Yep.
The conversation's over.
Right.
Whereas at college, the guy probably goes, "Okay, how do I do that instead?"
That would be that's the teaching,
and
part.
That's the disconnect I think that we saw last year with a couple of the coaches.
So you could see even. You said it.
I mean, you're talking about from top down versus bottom up.
No question.
Right? Like we had a couple guys come in from the NFL.
No question.
And I think those were areas where nobody was really enamored with the results.
So like in between transitioning breaks, like Teasley and Mbenga, who I'm telling you, if he passed you on the streets, you'd be like, he looks like your tutor.
Who, Mubanga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now a big tutor.
Yeah, he's imagine pretty large.
Very big tutor. But the
Got the glasses.
black brick glasses, kind of the old school natural haircut. He looks like he's 12.
Okay.
I'm just a
12-year-old.
giant 12-year-old. And even walking around in between deals, he's like, footwork or stance or it doesn't matter how old you are. And I'm just watching the communication. And it's one of the things that we talked to Coach Wade about, where he's like, I just love teaching ball.
Mm-hmm.
I just love teaching ball. I just love teaching ball. I just love teaching ball. And some of the guys are so fascinating because I like how so far, and guys have done it different ways. Bill Callahan was different than, like, let's say late Bo in terms of evaluations, right?
Callahan may be a really good example of coach over teach.
100%. Because
that guy's a football savant.
But he knew it when he saw it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, he knew it when he saw it. He could make the quick transition. One of the things that I like in just picking some of these guys' brains is just because it's popular to like a guy doesn't mean they automatically do. Now, they may be wrong, but I do like the discernment. They don't just jump on stars.
Sure.
They do their own due diligence.
They want to see it.
I mean, they looked at Justin Parrish like 5 different times, and he had 7 offers by then. Right? But it's like,
I think that frustrates a lot of people locally.
The deal clincher?
What's that?
Went to go watch him lift.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about a guy in a weight room.
Went to go watch him lift. And
you can learn a lot about a guy in a weight room.
And last night was the first time that I knew that I figured out what the deal was. I knew the individual workout. I wanted to see them themselves. And, because his size, he's 6'3" and some change. He's 270. There are a lot of those guys.
Yeah, that's not, in and of itself, that's not special.
He's huge for us, but there's a lot of those guys
6'3", 270
around the country, right? So it's like, I mean, shoot, Vignes is 6'3", 280, and I think he's going to get drafted.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Vignes is going to get drafted.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because that's not even to be said. But even guys where you think like recruiting is done or like it's not. It's not. And this is regionally, this is locally, this is even around the country. Like, they do a very good job of keeping tabs, not burning bridges, keeping lines of communication open. It's fascinating. So, hey, these 2 guys have said yes to this school. It's like, hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Or
so there's pen to paper.
Or, hey, you know what? We're just not willing to get mom a condo and strength and conditioning nutrition trainer guy an apartment. You know what I mean? Like, this is what some players ask for.
And it's what some schools are willing to do.
And I just think, and I said this a couple years ago, and I feel pretty good about it. Like, you want a spender like.
Yeah, you want a fiscally savvy.
You want a spender like Coach Rule.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay it's gonna pay dividends in the long run, because they'll be able to run the full race. They're not just gonna get to the 40 and Peter. Now they may have to
make up some ground.
You're gonna have to make up some ground, and your development has to be at a high level.
Yep.
If you're gonna play that game.
Yeah, there's a risk either way, right?
But it can be played. What you don't hear them saying is things like Signetti said.
It's like, oh, this is not sustainable. College football might not exist in 2 years.
Because they're playing the long game.
Yeah. Because they're preparing to be
how to structure contracts, how to make it playing time incentive, how not to give away the farm. How if a high-end guy is like, hey,
yes, Swayze,
such and such said this or such and such said that, hey, go. We'll catch you on the comeback. Like, if you think go do that.
Yeah. If you think sunshine and rainbows over there,
go, so they're clearly 2 I know in particular, they're clearly willing to do that. Now, whether that'll come back to get them, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, ask Tim, ask VERGHESE. Because one thing he does Tim is nosy.
He wants to know.
Listen,
He's good at what he does.
very,
He's good at what he does.
very.
He'll get to the bottom of something.
Very unassuming.
He's likable, so people want to tell him stuff.
I watched him the whole time. But now, I did spend about 30 total minutes talking to him, which was probably the most of any guy other than probably Sip. But that was just me trying to pick a fight. Like,
you trying to pick a fight with VERGHESE for?
No, Sip.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Don't mealy mouth
Sean
me.
comes over and he goes, Do you really not like Sip? I said, no, man, Sip runs his mouth, man. Always clutching and grabbing, and like, Sip will get this work. I took my coat off.
Man, that dirt
you
looks
keep thinking I'm a
amazing.
big guy, man. I said, I don't even, like, I had on short sleeves.
Yeah.
I took my coat off. I said, look, man, you see this? You get your ass whooped, Sip.
I've seen you guys go rounds
Right.
in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sip pulled his earpiece out. He was like, what? I said, okay.
He's like, I can box.
Yeah. He said, okay, that's good. No, but I'm kind of just serious, but playing. Anyway, like, he's very in the weeds.
Yeah.
And he likes to see for himself. We actually agreed on a guy in Nebraska, like, he wants to be a D lineman. And Tim is in the corner watching. I mean, notes, meticulous. He's like, he needs to be an outside line. I'm like, he absolutely does. But what happens with young people is, it's just the opposite. He's an OLB. He needs to be a D lineman. But you know, sometimes people think it's a slight, or you know, hey, I'm an athlete, and it's like, and whomever is in their ear, like recruiting, it's just funny.
Yeah,
it's, well, I'm this, and it's like, you still got a year and a half too. Like, I don't know, are you?
Yeah, or you got a guy like Mac Markway, who was a 5-star tight end. He's like, okay, I'm a defensive lineman now.
Yeah, and you just look at him, and it's like, if you put your mind to it, you could probably be whatever you want to be.
Yeah,
like, you know, just frame wise.
Yeah.
So it's just it's fascinating with high end guys, and not just high end guys, like guys that are being recruited, and like what the mindset is.
Westside asked a good question. He goes,
I'm not logged in, so I can't see anything.
He said, do you ever see where a college staff vehemently disagrees with the evaluation of ranking service? And he says, not just a hidden gem, like a high profile guy. Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. We talked about 2 last night.
Yeah.
In depth.
I would agree.
In depth. And I'm like, and oddly enough, I'll tell you the one off air, you know, I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I'm like one of the very few schools that is willing to say, hey, listen, yeah, okay. Oh, no question. Like, there was a guy down in that part of the, I don't even know. Like, they don't just go with the consensus. And you know, the rankings, they don't pay any mind.
I mean, I see it with basketball a lot.
Wade like Kittrell 8 months ago. Right? That's the guy. That's who we went to go watch play basketball.
Yeah.
That Friday night. He wasn't on anybody's radar, really.
No.
Right?
But there are, I know for a fact, there's high profile guys that staffs are just like, nope, not for us.
100%.
I don't know if it's more common, but I don't think that's uncommon at all.
No, I would tell, I'd go back and tell our guys, I'd go to Gross, I'd go to Prep, I'd go anywhere that I could talk to kids, and I would say, you know what? There's no real secret sauce. Be able to get the next rep. Like, get the next rep.
Yeah.
And then just get the next one and the next one. And all of a sudden you'll look around and there aren't a lot of guys with you that want to get the next rep.
So you'll be the only one left standing.
Just be the last man standing. It just starts with being in elite level shape and having a singular focus to just maximize. The talent stuff, it's not overrated. It's not. So hear my heart. You need a certain baseline.
Agreed.
To be able to function. But after that, it's like,
it's about a lot of other stuff.
It's staying power.
Yeah.
It's there's a really, 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 really good player who left the state last year. And the first thing that he said when I saw him at another player's thing was the guys, it's a little different than when I was being recruited. And I'm like, yep. And the sooner you figure that out and be able to just go with it, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
It's just different because at some point you just got to line it up and play it, and they've got a job to do.
Question for you real quick.
Yep.
Talking about the talent standpoint, just to kind of prove your point. And I know Cignetti's an outlier, but they're the best example of like just needing a base level of talent, right? Oregon, more or less talented than Indiana, just roster like
more.
Okay. Penn State, more or less talented than Indiana last year.
More.
Ohio State.
More.
Alabama.
More.
Oregon again.
More.
Miami.
More.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, they beat them all, didn't they? I got what you're saying.
Yeah, they beat. I mean, the last one against Oregon was 56-22.
Yeah.
Right? Like the one against Alabama was 38-3. Those might be the two teams that are the most more talented than Indiana.
Yeah.
Outside of, I mean, Ohio State is probably in that conversation as well. But, and again, I don't expect Cignetti results because I think Cignetti's a unicorn. The point is the underlying philosophy is correct.
Do you know what I think doesn't need to be a unicorn?
What's that?
The willingness to say no.
Yes.
Remember when he said that, and I was like, that might be my favorite thing he's ever said.
That's the reason I'm trying to come around on him, despite the fact that I don't really love some of his abrasiveness.
Yeah.
Like philosophically, I agree with a lot of what he says.
Oh, yeah.
And I think philosophically, he doesn't have to be a unicorn. His execution of it is unique. But philosophically, I think you can replicate that.
It was, yeah, it's fascinating. You know, even sitting down, being fortunate enough to sometimes stumble in on like a film eval or something like that where nobody asks you to leave. You just kind of
hang around.
You just kind of like,
oh, hey, what's going on over here? Can't see this. What's going on?
They're looking at like, oh, don't mind me. What we watching? No, dude say you're not slick. I was like, sorry. How and what people are looking for is not, we make it so fancy. It's not. And watching plays that aren't highlights and like the little finite stuff, because in an age in which money seems to be very, very important, you better find guys where it's not, if you can.
If it's not the most important thing.
It's not the most important thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to ever ask a guy to be like, hey, come for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get it.
And I think coaches around the country understand that, but I'm just.
But you want a guy that's not making his, I think you want a guy that's not making his final decision based on the dollar amount.
When you contract mercenaries,
you get a mercenary mindset.
You get a mercenary mindset. It is very transactional.
I also like, maybe I'm doing too much here, but there's a part of me that's like, hey, if you don't know how to be rich on $500,000, you're not going to know how to be rich on $600,000 either.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? A lot of these folks that are letting people do the talking for them that want, you know, hey, take care of this and those are the folks you're going to be reading about, and like it doesn't typically go away, right? Where, that's a red flag. If like that's what parents and guardians need, you know, because it's not about you.
No, it's the people that make it about them when they're not the one actually putting the work in.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, there's a lot of hangers on as there. You see it in the NFL too, but now it's with kids, which is a even worse look
100%
for the people involved. But I do think there's, and listen, I'm an adult. If somebody offers me $500,000 or somebody offers me $600,000,
One more time.
we might be having a different conversation, and I get that. But again, if that's your deciding factor, there's a decent chance you're going to be miserable.
Yeah. To your point, Jimmy Neutron, there's an absolute difference between coaching and teaching, although the good coaches do teach.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I do think there's like another layer to it too. It's almost like you don't want to put too many people in this category, but in terms of, especially at college coaching, I think that is a significant difference between coaches who are successful in teaching, but then the coaches who aren't successful in that would just say, oh, well, the kids aren't talented enough. That's why it's not working, because they themselves, the coach, is not a good teacher.
How about when, and we'll use him again, but like when your OC and your head coach are talking about all the things that Mendoza needs to work on previous to him having a chance to be successful in your program, they're teaching.
Yeah.
They're not coaching. It's like one of the things Mendoza said he was blown away with by the staff was they told him all the things that he wasn't very good at yet that they needed to work on. Like they're
and if you want to get good, that's what you want to hear.
They're clearly still teaching.
That's one of the things that I was enamored with Coach Rule early, is he got really specific about things.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which indicates to me that he's teaching, right? When you get really, like, their previous head coaches, and maybe they just didn't want to tell us, but previous head coaches, when you ask them questions, they're very broad in their answers. Well, we need to tighten some things up. We got to do this. Coach Rule gets really, really specific. Now, maybe,
oddly.
Like, to the point where sometimes you don't exactly know what he's talking about, right? Which is if you're not if you're not super football-y, right?
That's a good point.
But I appreciate the specificity because it means it lets me know that he knows that it's very small steps and a bunch, just a billion of them, right? Whereas other coaches, which they may have done the small steps and the little specificity inside the room, but they didn't give that to us. That's a real word.
I know.
They didn't give that to us, so it was harder to know and say, hey, yeah, I understand the process here. I actually talked to Heath about this, and this is a dramatic example, and I'm not saying I actually would be good at this, but I told, like, for the coaching and teaching thing, I told Heath I would have had a better shot of being a good NBA coach than I was a college coach, because I'm not a good teacher. Not to say I would have been a good NBA coach. That's not the point. But that would have been the best opportunity for me based on my skill set, because I'm not a teacher. Yeah. Like I'm really good at the nuance of seeing things before they happen. I'm really good at certain things, the strategy of basketball and things like that. I consider myself a pretty good talent evaluator, and other people have too in the past. But I am a bad teacher. It's not even something I like doing. It's not like I try and do it and I'm like, oh, I wish I was better at this. I hate teaching. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the temperament for it. Like, so it definitely is a thing, right? Like there is, and I just don't know that we make that distinction frequently enough.
So when you see it though, man, it's pretty all right to watch. It's pretty all right to watch.
He said you also had shitheads like me on your team, which may be why you hate kids.
I mean, to his point, like you do have to have a certain amount of resolve.
Yeah, I don't have the temperament to teach. I mean, I've told you this before. I thought about being a high school teacher because I thought it was the quickest pathway to becoming a coach.
Most people do,
and
that get into it. It's not because they love being in the classroom.
I spent
they want to coach
like a week in a practicum, and I was like, "Oh God, this is not for me."
Yeah,
like I knew immediately.
Yeah, I wish I would have.
Like it just was not for me.
I'm like 136 hours to graduate. I'm stuck. I'm like 2 practicums in.
Yeah,
and then you're blocked in your schedules, and it's like, I see what you guys did.
Yeah,
I'm stuck.
It was not for me.
These guys are getting out with like 124 to 128 hours.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I should have been a human growth and development or something.
That's all right.
Or what was another generic?
Communications.
Yep.
Big communications guy.
Whoa. Hey.
I think we hit a nerve with Jimmy Neutron over here.
That was my second major. All right, calm down.
And with teaching, like your final practicum is student teaching, so there is no workaround.
Oh yeah, like I pulled the ripcord well before I got to the student
there
teaching
is no
portion.
Yeah, let me just hit that diploma. Nah, you spend some time with some badass kids.
One of my so I did 2 semesters of practicum because I couldn't get out of the program before the end of the year, and so I saw it through at least for that year. And
allegedly,
my first practicum teacher was like, "Hey, you want to teach a lesson or something?" And I go, "Nope, not at all." I was like, "I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna finish it out so I get the credit hours." But what's happening right now?
People are offering me money. So.
wait, huh? The audacity.
I know. I don't know what just happened.
Hire me. Teach me a lesson.
It's a quick $5.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or punch you in the face. Like the Stones to just get up during a live show and squeeze a goddamn rubber chicken and casually walk off and say, they're wanting to pay me money?
It's like I was being offered money.
I didn't even know that thing made noise. He wasn't even discreet. Just sauntering on over.
I mean, how would he have been discreet? He has to.
Did you see how he was walking? Like not a care in the goddamn world. Who does that?
Apparently Austin.
Unbelievable.
I think that means it's time to take a break.
Who the okay, man. I guess doing what we want to do. Must be Friday.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, let's
all right, A-Train.
Let's take a quick break.
Wow.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Apparently that was Austin choking a chicken on the show here. So
how does that even work?
I don't know. I assume it's like a dog chew toy.
Huh.
Yeah, it's the first time I've done it where other people watched.
Surprised you didn't get nervous.
Is that right?
Some people have anxiety about that.
Wow. Wow.
We're gonna take a quick break.
At some point, you guys in the chat, I can't see you. I have no links. I have no
I
links.
DM'd it to you as well.
Listen, man, you act like I can open DMs on my phone, champ.
We got more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Yeah, we really wanted to test ourselves in the preseason. I thought it was great last year when we played BYU, and we got a really good feel for how our guys were going to go out there and compete against a top 10 team. And that game obviously went very well for us. And this year with 3 of those games, I think we've announced 2 of them. The third one should be announced shortly. But it's 3 really good opportunities for us. As far as our scheduling, we're trying to get a home and home with a high major team. We're having a lot of trouble getting those kind of games set right now. Just the landscape of where we are, everybody's playing neutral site games right now, just to try to bolster up their budgets. And, we have some of those in place. I think we've announced most of them, Seamus, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of them. And, we're working on some others. But we're trying. We're having a lot of trouble scheduling high major games and starting home and home series. It's just a really difficult thing to do in today's landscape. So we're doing the best we can. We feel good about the schedule with where it is right now. And, those neutral site games are important for a team like us. We have to do everything we can, to compete against teams that spend a lot more money than we do. So, that's part of the process. It's the, one of the things that you just have to do in this business to give yourself as much of a competitive advantage as you can. So, scheduling is a lot different than it used to be.
No. I mean, I absolutely never thought about it like that. I mean, really the biggest thing for me was just whenever there's an opportunity to interact with the little girls, trying to, having been that little girl. And I feel like as far as the softball world goes and wanting to have an impact there, they were always my primary focus. And the cool thing about that is just because I'm done playing now, that doesn't have to be over. That doesn't have to end. And growing the game will now just look different. It'll still be the same love for wanting to grow the sport, especially in the state of Nebraska, but all over the country. And just the way I go about that will look a little different now.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you, give our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical a call. 402-614-9700. They are the place to go. You know, if you're not feeling your best, maybe you're feeling great, you want to feel better. Maybe you are being super active, need a little recovery, whatever you need, they've got you covered. 402-614-9700. Tell them that DB and I sent you from Hurrdat Sports Live, and you'll get a free vitamin shot with your order as well. So you just get that little extra boost, you know, maybe get a little pep in your step heading into the summer here. It's June already, you know?
Is it?
It is. I forgot that it's June constantly.
Man,
I still feel like it's April.
that's wild.
Ravi?
You forgot it was June?
I did forget it was June.
Do you know who's on the show today?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, that's a fair question.
No, it is. It is a very fair question.
I don't
Really bad timing for that to be brought up yesterday. Really bad timing.
Or perfect timing for it to be brought up yesterday. Depends on how you look at it.
I'm trying not to be distracted by the whole chicken.
It's all right. You know, it happens.
And why would TK put him up to that?
Because TK is a menace, and also he has a gambling problem. So he doesn't look at it as paying him for it. He looks at it as like placing a bet on whether or not he will do it.
One
The
thing
chicken squeeze has been clipped and is now on social media.
One thing I do like about TK is he is about his knowledge.
Mhm.
That dude will ask a lot of questions.
He does. He does.
He likes eyes and boots on the ground, and he's not afraid to ask either.
Yeah, during basketball season, he asks me lots of questions about what's going on, which I appreciate. You know, he's trying to learn.
And I'm like, hey, don't really want to be on my phone out here. I mean, it's bad enough.
You're like, I need the scoop though.
Freaking Breeze is like, yeah, you get any film of my one-on-ones? And I was like, nope. And
You're like, no, I didn't watch you.
I mean, he gives me exclamation points, like, idiot. It's fine.
It's all right.
No, that's what he wanted me to do. There'll be others.
Speaking of a guy that has the scoop, we've got Tim.
Oh, TV.
We're joined now by
Wait,
Tim.
he's right on time. What, you were trying to get him early, Shane? It just now turned 8 o'clock.
We got Tim VERGHESE joining us from inside Nebraska. Tim, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
How we doing? Good morning.
We are terrible. I assume Ravi's fine. I have no link to I don't have anything, Tim. So I'm like operating. I can't even. Well, wait. If we did the interview like this, that's awesome. I'm off camera. Like, hey, man, you guys, that whole 2-shot. Hi, Tim. How we doing? I feel like I just saw you.
Yeah, no doubt. Good to see you. I was going to say this. So, my favorite person to watch move around at camps is Justin Owens. He's now the general manager at Texas State. But back when I was making the rounds and at these camps down in Texas, he was, kind of still working on my end, on the media end. He was working with kids down in the greater Dallas area. And watching him at camps was always so fun because we'd be at SMU or we'd be at TCU, one of these big mega camps where you've got 30 plus programs, you've got 300 plus kids, and he is talking to everybody. Like, no joke, it's a row of college coaches, and just down the line you're seeing just move down and talk to everybody. And then, you're getting out throughout the day and you're going into indie drills, and he's making sure his guys are at the front of the line working out on the reps. And I haven't been around in a minute, but I can't even imagine what it looks like now when he's got his own camps that he's running, and those are all his kids now. It's like, hey, these are 150 kids and they're all mine. I need to eval all, like, what that looks like now. My second favorite person to watch at camps might be you, DB.
Oh shoot, I'm wild, Tim. Like, I hope, don't pay me any mind, man. I'm gonna need you to elaborate. I wondered where you were going. I was like, oh, that's how he learned to watch camps. But you hit me.
No, O taught me a lot. O's my mentor in a lot of different ways on this eval stuff. But yeah, I learned a lot from him on how to run this camp stuff and how to operate. But no, man, you get around too. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, like, I'm very, very weird, Tim. Just when you're like this, just in, because there's certain things that I'm always looking for, right? And sometimes it just depends. Like, I don't really go in with, okay, this, and this per se. I start with whatever the first conversations are, and then I kind of go with it. But I'm trying to cover like every square inch, right? So I'm definitely a mover. Because I kind of know what I'm looking for after a while. Mm-hmm. And I try to pay attention and pit what's been told to me over time to see like the practical applications of it. So I tell people, like, I'm sure I'm fascinating, but I don't know how much you would enjoy being around me in those kind of settings, right? I'm good with you because I like the way you work, but it's
no diggity.
Yeah, some other people, it's not like that, right? Like, Sip would not be getting on the show this morning and saying the same thing. But I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
So, yeah. Tim, we've been talking a little bit this morning about, lots of different stuff, but I want to start. One of our commenters has been kind of asking this question about the way staffs feel about guys versus the way the recruiting services feel. And you don't necessarily have to name names unless you're comfortable doing it. It's a child.
No. I'm just trying to put it back up here. AJ, I need you. I can't get it back up here. Keep going, Ravi. I'm sorry.
Are there guys that you, because I know you like to do your own evals, right? And that's not to take anything away from the services that kind of do a more broad strokes type thing. But like, are there guys that you kind of have just like off the top of your head that you're, to the good or to the bad, where you're just like, hey, the eval's way off on this guy on a national perspective, and either you ended up being right or you're like somebody you were just like really convicted about, like, yeah, this isn't like it's funny you asked this question. The eval is not where we're at. And it could be, listen, if you don't want to like bus roll anybody, it could be to the positive also.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely plenty of both. I've kind of been collecting, I would say, some of those receipts because that's stuff that goes out of colleges. That's stuff that helps me in my career. So,
I mean, like guys that you liked early that end up getting drafted or whatever that never ended up being like 4 or 5 stars. Like, I've seen that.
Yeah, and so I think for me, like, I mean, I think this is a good example to kind of tell a story and kind of paint, just how it shapes how I view things now. So Devin Sanchez, 5-star cornerback, a cycle ago. Ended up at Ohio State, started or played a good bit as a freshman, had some ups and downs, walking into year 2, expecting to be a starter and take a jump. He's the best corner prospect I've been around, and I've been around him since I was around him when he was a freshman in high school. I got to see him develop. I've been at, just the way my own career and where my timeline was at, and just happened to align with his own development. And so I got to see, private development or private training sessions, this the off season before his junior season, then the off season before his senior season, and watch that growth, watch that development. And so, I was convinced pretty early on he was one of the better DBs I had seen. Before him, it was Denver Harris, the infamous Denver Harris, who started his career at Texas A&M, bounced around a little bit. And the thing with Denver was always, hey, technically he's really sound, but he's right around 5'11", 6 foot, good athlete, not a phenomenal athlete, and then you get around Devin, and it's like, oh wow, it's all of the same technique, except now he's 6'3" with fluid hips and really good ball skills and a great head on his shoulders, and really understands how the game works. And so Devin, I think getting around him very early and often has completely recalibrated what it takes for me to be impressed by a high school cornerback. I was at OT7 a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago at this point, back in April. John Mayer, the number 1 cornerback in the country, was there. A couple other top corner targets were there. And look, I mean, again, like I'm able to, I feel like I'm able to, see things fairly, but I would say getting around Devin when I did has completely been, okay, well, John, like you're not this, or this, like this, you're not that. There's a standard now for me, at least when I evaluate the position, where if you're not this, I can't have you ranked top 5. Regardless of position, as a corner. Like you have to be moving like this guy for me to see you as a top 5 prospect, regardless of position.
So where do you marry the, hey, I see you in workouts, I see you in camps and things like that, and you have to move like this, versus what it looks like on tape on Friday nights? Like, where does that get weighed in the equation?
Ooh, it was interesting. I was just thinking about this on my drive home yesterday. And I think we're getting to a point. We're getting to a point where, I was talking to some people about this yesterday at camp too. Like, camps aren't what they maybe used to be even just a couple of years ago, just in terms of, look, like the eval timeline has completely changed, and like, like even Nebraska's had a couple 27s the last couple days. We could see 1, 2, maybe 3 offers from the last 2 days, at least in the 27 cycle. I'm not expecting much, if any, though. Like there just isn't that time, and there isn't really that. Everything's kind of moved up to a point where it's tough to it's tough to find these late bloomers, but also, you have an idea of what these guys are pretty early on. I'm like yesterday, Nebraska wanted to get eyes on Garrett Duarte. I wanted to get eyes on Garrett Duarte. It was really helpful to get eyes on him. But, I don't know how much I learned yesterday from getting around him. I think just check boxes for me more than anything. For me, I was like, okay, well, I really like what he put up on tape, despite playing, at a smaller program, and despite playing, he's so big, and the competition, it's just dominant. But there was a lot on tape that I was like, okay, well, technically he's a little further along than you expect. He's a good athlete. You like the frame, you like all of that. And again, I'm just getting around him in person and getting those eyes and being like, okay, well, yes, athletic lower body. Oh, okay, look, he's got some really controlled athleticism. I think he does a good job of, he wasn't super clean in one-on-ones. The footwork wasn't clean, but he kept his feet moving. Every time it felt like, he was losing ground, he'd stab, he'd jab you right in the chest, and create some, I would say, some time for himself to recover a little bit. So the point is for me now, a lot of these camps are just confirming what I've seen on tape, or vice versa. Like, there were a couple of guys yesterday I saw that was like, okay, well, that guy moves around well. That guy moves around like how I want. I'm going to be tracking him moving forward. But if you're a junior or senior, or going into junior, senior, so for this camp, it would be 27, 28, 27 in particular. If you're 27 moving around well, and I haven't watched the film, like it's just, I just have a hard time seeing it happening. So it's like 28s, 29s moving forward. It's a lot of that. Like, so the camp timeline has changed, just, and how, the value of some of these, I would say, high school evals have changed. The early evals are still super important, I would say. Like getting in early on even some of these 28s, I would say you're still relatively getting in early on Garrett Duarte. I would say you're getting in somewhat early on I would say you're getting in you're getting in somewhat early on a on guys younger in this cycle too. There was an O lineman from Blue Hill, Nebraska, who pulled up to the 5-on-5 big man camp at 6'5", 305. Like that just frames that don't pop up in small town Nebraska like that. And so it was good to see a guy like him. Was good to see him work on both sides of the line. Actually, he's someone that I'm a little more intrigued by as a defensive line prospect long term. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what this looks like. I don't know if we are. I know we've lost some audio. So
You're still live. We just lost the Wi-Fi for them, so they'll be coming back here shortly.
Cool. All right, I'm looking at some comments though. We got a comment on how is Keemon Spell ranked ahead of DGG, Dave Gabriel Georges. I believe that's how I was saying. I've just been calling him DGG. He's the 5-star expected to be Ohio State running back commit. I don't remember if he's committed. There's a lot happening. But no, I agree. DGG should be ranked ahead of Spell. I don't really know what. I think Spell's been out. Spell's been out on more camps. Spell's been out to more events. So I think national evaluators have seen him a little more. But no, DGG is like what you're looking for at the position. He's as clean cut of an eval I think we've had at the position in a couple of years.
Tim, when you're you're talking about the difference of tape versus camp and seeing things like that. Like, does that help you? Because we've get a lot of people, I'm sure you hear them on your message boards and stuff like that, where people say, hey, why does Nebraska need to see these guys at camp? They're local, especially with local guys, right? They're like, hey, they're local. They can go see them at their high school, stuff like that. Like, do you understand, because you do a lot of this, why they want to see them at camp as opposed to just in either high school settings or game settings? Like, it seems like you pick up a lot more from that. Do you understand why the coaches want to see that as well?
Yes, absolutely. Look, there's a couple of reasons. And, it's funny. I did have this conversation with somebody yesterday. It wasn't a Nebraska assistant necessarily. It was one of the other coaches there just talking like, back in the day, you used to have to come to camp to earn the offer. You wouldn't get the offer until you camped. And especially if you were a local prospect. But now the leverage has changed. Some of the kids have some of the leverage now. And so the game has changed a little bit. And so, but I think it's still valuable. And I understand why Nebraska does it for a couple of reasons. One, I think camp's a really good opportunity to work guys at multiple positions. You may like a guy at one position, or a guy may be dead set on one position. You may be recruiting him like lightly at that position, but you want to get eyes on. You want to see what that looks like. A name that comes to mind: yesterday they worked Thatcher Shelton out, the defensive or the quarterback out of Lincoln Southwest, 2028 QB. They worked him out a defensive back. He's 6'1", 175 pounds, tremendous athlete. He's put out good 40s. He put up a good 40 at the All-American Combine when I saw him back in January. He put a good 40 up yesterday. Has good track times as well. So a phenomenal athlete, but he wants to give it his best shot at quarterback. But you understand, Nebraska liked the 40 time. They like some of the instincts with him, so they got him working at DB. And it wasn't clean. I mean, DB, you were watching it too, but I thought he did a good job of adjusting and kind of utilizing his athleticism as the day went on.
Southwest quarterback.
So he's okay. So I'm not going to ask the obvious question. Well, sure. Let's stay in state with that. I like the fact that he's a good athlete, and I thought Southeast was well represented because I look at guys like I was talking about Will Manning earlier.
I know Will looked good.
So that's what I thought. And I try to be part of the reason, Tim, I get in my own kind of zone is I try to do a really good job of being objective. And so I try to put the Coach Manning thing aside and how long I've watched Will. But I thought he did very well for himself. He's got that good thick neck. you could see how he leads the state in tackling. He showed some twitch. Doesn't have elite size, but he's a ball finder. I thought he had a really good night. If we want to start with the local guys, let's start there.
Yeah, he was one I thought, had a good day. It was a few. I mean, it was a few working at I would say working at because they cross-trained a lot of the linebackers and tight ends, and I thought yesterday some of those guys working both sides. It was another. I'm trying to find it in my notes, but it was another. The Southwest tight end, Madden Schwager in 2028. I thought he was another one that moved around well at linebacker.
2028's fared well, stayed there obviously. Let's go to what'd you think about Micah? Somebody that you've watched, you pay pretty good attention to. I actually thought, like, objectively, I'm kind of a jerk. He was significantly better against higher end talent and one-on-ones than I thought.
Yeah, I didn't get to see all of his one-on-ones. I was kind of bouncing back and forth between O-line, D-line one-on-ones and wide receiver DB one-on-ones. But a lot of my focus on him was in drills. I think some of it was you can kind of tell he's working through like technique this offseason. Like you can tell he's really dialed in on that, but you can still see it's a work in progress. You know, you can still see this is a high school sophomore going on his junior season and still kind of learning some of this stuff. But you can see, again, I thought it was good when they separated him. Again, seeing him work against like a guy like Thatcher, or not against, but, him down the line and Thatcher down the line of just seeing the okay, hey, this is what it looks like when you've been working at the position for a few years and you're working on the technique and you're a capable athlete, like you check the boxes athletically, I would say, and so I thought I liked getting to see him move around a little bit. He a couple of times on breaks felt like it's still working, like he's still getting smooth. Flipping his hips and getting in and out of breaks. So, I mean, a lot of the physicality stuff with him has been answered for me. Like we saw that in the fall, I wasn't going to learn anything about that at a camp. I wanted to see what it looked like with the growth spurt, what it looked like moving around a little bit. Was encouraged, I think, by all of that. And from what I saw in one-on-ones, I do also wonder a little bit about maybe moving him back a little bit to safety nickel versus
that's what he's going to play. He's no longer playing corner. He's an inside guy.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I think that's probably what he's best at this point. What'd
you think about? Oh, go ahead if you want to ask me one more question.
No, go ahead.
What'd you think about Conkey?
I was hoping to see a little more from him in terms of changing direction, but I like the overall athletic profile with the length. I was pleasantly surprised by the length. I know what he's listed at, but getting around him a little bit, I did think generally he moved around as one of the better DBs out there, but flipping his hips, changing directions, especially when you're listed as a corner, like it's just stuff like that where it was like, I just wanted that to be a little smoother. But tremendous athlete. I think there's a lot to like in just the overall ball of clay there.
I just seen Evan Robinson in 7-on-7. He left Southwest to play at Millard North. What'd you think?
He was one I did not get nearly enough eyes. I didn't think I didn't spend enough time around him. I'm hoping he's back at the 7-on-7 a couple of weeks later, but he was one I was hoping to get a little more exposure to, and I didn't yesterday.
Let's stay regional for a quick sec. What'd you think about Brock Barrows?
I like Brock. I've liked Brock for a while.
Another 2028 they're in on early.
Yeah, he's just one I wish was bigger, like when I saw him young, I was actually I was telling somebody yesterday too. I was watching O-line D-line or O-line Indy. We were I've been watching Brock since he was in 8th grade, and he reminded me a lot of Gibson Pyle, because I saw Gibson Pyle when he was in 9th grade, going into 10th grade. And Gibson hit a random growth spurt in high school that, it just went from, whoa, okay, well, who's this skinny little kid who, is working through O-line stuff and has some promise to, okay, there's a D1, there's a Power 4 offensive line prospect, you know. It happened very quickly with him, but there was a lot of similarities, I think, in the early on profiles of both of those guys. Brock just hasn't grown to the same extent. He measured him yesterday at like 6'1", I believe. It's not to say it can't work. I mean, Justin Evans, you know, but you can make it work at 6'1", but he's someone who, man, he's just a football player. Like I think he does a good job of pairing. I wrote it in my notes. He does a good job of pairing physicality with finesse, especially in one-on-ones. Like he'll beat you. You know, he'll take you to the ground, but he's going to do it in a graceful way. You know, he's going to I think he does a really good job along the interior. I just wish he was bigger at this point in his development. And I wonder with where he's at, what opportunities are going to be out there, because I know he's got a ton of regional interest, but unless he grows unless I think the tape looks more consistent, because I did see him in the fall too, and I'm hoping for a little more consistent junior tape.
Yeah, we play Lee Summit in week 2, so I'm always weird with my what I'm paying attention to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's fun, man. He's a good kid too. I really enjoy him.
Tim, moving from camps to visits, how big of a deal is it that Matthew Gregory moved up his visit 2 weeks to this weekend?
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, you have some wide receiver dominoes that need to get figured out here in these next few weeks, and so you have. I would say here's how you shape up the wide receiver conversation very simply. This week you have Matthew Gregory visiting Nebraska. You also have 3-star wide receiver Caden Howard visiting Georgia, making an official visit to Georgia Tech. Whatever news comes out of this visit will greatly impact what happens next weekend when Khalil Taylor, the 4-star wide receiver and top 100 prospect, and Isaiah Alvarez, 3-star wide receiver at a Don Bosco prep and a priority target for Dikeel Shorts. It's going to dictate what happens next week with those two guys. I think they're really only looking for 2 more receivers. You're seeing them kind of get active again in the tight end market, getting 2 tight ends to campus this weekend, one on an unofficial team camp visit, one on an official visit. So you're looking at probably 3 to 4 total pass catcher additions still to come. And it could be one more if let's say Howard flips to Georgia Tech, or they get an idea that Howard's moving on. They're more than happy, I think, to move on all 3. But yeah, big deal, just in the sense that you eliminate some of the wild cards. He could have gone to Colorado this week and could have gone to LSU. I saw both of those programs as wild cards. Still expected at Virginia Tech next weekend. We'll see if that visit happens. I would say I think Nebraska has a chance to get this done this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out over this weekend, going into next week. I know he really liked that UCLA visit, but that was his first time out there. I just don't think he's going to go across the country on off the strength of one visit, you know. And so I still like Nebraska. I like them going into the weekend. My question with this recruitment is just going to be: do they love him more than Isaiah Alvarez and Khalil Taylor, to the point that they would accept his commitment regardless of, and knowing they still have those 2 coming to visit? So that's something I'm waiting to see. I think that's something the staff is going to be working through over these next few days, is just how to best position this wide receiver room moving forward.
Yeah, ominous foreshadowing. A couple weeks ago, we talked about it. I think Michigan State and Nebraska will be one of those schools, which makes the game even more fascinating, not just because of year 1 fits, but he's put together a very formidable staff. Peeling Max Bullough away, making him co-defensive coordinator in East Lansing, a guy that when he was at Notre Dame recruited this area very well. Obviously, LeVar Woods, that addition, recruits this area very well. Nebraska loses 2 top linebacker targets to Michigan State. Just kind of going to be par for the course with how they like to recruit, or maybe just a cycle-by-cycle thing?
Something of a cycle-by-cycle thing. I wonder a little bit with Nebraska this cycle how much the work they did in the portal and the work they've done in the linebacker room to this point actually kind of hurt them this cycle, where, there are other programs that can maybe promise early playing time. I don't think Nebraska can really afford to promise anybody that. I don't think there's a linebacker prospect out there that they feel good about with what the depth they've got. You know, you've got Dexter Foster coming back for, you've got multiple years of eligibility with Dexter Foster. You got multiple years of eligibility with Will Hawthorne. They're excited about Pierce Mooberry. They're excited about Vincent Shavers. You still have Christian Jones in the room. You still have Dawson Merritt in the room. You know, it's a room with some depth. But that said, that you could tell Orich wanted. I mean, Orich expanded the board and was clearly looking for size, was clearly looking for 1 to 2 inside linebackers this cycle, was clearly looking for 1 to 2 inside linebackers this cycle. I don't think my level of concern with the linebacker recruiting is to the point that it is with edge, even with, Mato Mo set to visit this weekend at edge and potentially flip from Minnesota. I still think there's still some work to be done at edge more so than linebacker. But yeah, I mean, this feels like it. I wouldn't say ominous, but like it's somewhat ominous of just you wanted to see Nebraska. You've seen the complaints of like, oh, how's Nebraska recruiting national linebackers? Why are they going after they should stay in the region and recruit the way Illinois and Michigan State and Iowa do. And then they start doing that, and guess what? It's like they lose to Penn State on Blake Betton. They lose to Oregon on Brandon Lockley. And then you lose to Michigan State on these two guys in Henry Sakalis and Matthew Brady. And, with those two in particular, it was going to be tough. I mean, both of those recruitments heated up so fast. And you think about both of those guys, what they're looking for. It makes a ton of sense that Michigan State staff made an impression on them. Like, I think back on the conversation I had with Matthew Brady when he made the first Nebraska visit, and what he was looking for in a linebackers coach in a future home. And I was like, oh yeah, it makes a ton of sense why he went to Michigan State. Like, he's a new linebacker looking for the best development possible at the position and looking for, like a staff that, keys in on that position. He had plenty of options, but I think of his options, he felt Michigan State was the best one, not just for his development, but also for an opportunity to get on the field earlier. I don't know for both of those guys if there was going to be that opportunity to see the field at Nebraska in year one. Like there may be at Michigan State and some of the other programs they were considering. But yeah, overall, that's not to justify the loss of this. It stings. I think it stings. And you're in a point now where linebacker recruiting, you may have to just kind of accept commits and just kind of take some guys when you had a chance to add, a couple really good athletes, I thought, in Matthew Brady, Henry Sakalis, and Blake Betton. If you had landed just one of the three, I feel really good about the future of the linebacker room. And now we're at a point where it's like, okay, well, it may have to be the portal in terms of setting up for the future, or kind of hoping the young guys on the roster currently continue to develop and continue to take steps forward.
I think it's interesting because one of those three guys that you mentioned, I think as the evaluation got along, I think Nebraska differed greatly on the eval, and I think ultimately was why one of the particular players chose another school, where I'm not going to say Nebraska cooled, but I think down the stretch, the more tape and the film study and visits, it's just such a fascinating process with these guys. And Ravi talked about it earlier about when he asked you about rankings versus height versus what the tape actually says. It's such a fascinating deal once you know exactly what you're looking for. And I by no means am saying, Nebraska is Iowa or Illinois or some of these schools that know what they want regardless of star rankings. But I do think this cycle is fascinating that they haven't necessarily gone by what the perception is. They appear to really be doing their own due diligence for an extended period of time. They clearly know what they're looking for, especially at positions with like Orich at the linebacker spot. Like, I think we'll see more development there because there's a very concrete idea of what they want it to look like. You can tell by the body. You know what I mean?
That's something I kind of picked up.
Guys that didn't eventually say yes, but I do know for a fact one of those guys, I watched with those guys, and I know what some of the concerns were, and it's not to the popular consensus. It's their own eval on what they're looking for.
Right. And that makes sense it's something I think's been informative from camps was, hey, like yesterday, I just kind of spent 20 minutes just watching Jeep Wade coach.
Isn't it fascinating? Or
Yes.
the other one I learned about. My question to you was going to be, can you tell by watching these guys work their drills even more what they're looking for in their evaluation?
Yeah. Jeep in particular was one that just 20 minutes around him, I was like, like he's a dude, man. He's a dude. And I like the way he tries to get his verbiage across the guys very early on and just set that across the board of just like, hey, here's how we're going to be talking. Here's what I'm going to be saying. And then from there, sets like I thought he did a good job of. I thought Garrett got better as the day went on just from working with Jeep. I thought all those guys got better. I think his attention to detail is really fascinating. He clearly knows because sometimes with coaches, you get them at camp or you see them at camp and it's a lot of when they have a big group, they're working minor things or they're working little things or it's like or it's just kind of going off of, hey, I need you to have a flatter back here. Hey, you need to get lower in your stance. Hey, you need to do this. And then it's just like Jeep walking up to Garrett and in his stance, and he's just like, you're too tense. You need to loosen up. And he's like, Tyler, explain to him what loosening up means. And then he just had a current player explain from the verbiage standpoint what this is supposed to look like. And it's like, well, okay, look, just me off, or just not me, but like a guy off the street's not going to be able to tell, oh, that guy is too tense in his stance. He's just in his stance. But I think Jeep was able to break down some of that stuff. I think the really fascinating thing for me was the attention to detail on the body control and the weight distribution.
That's what I liked about Corey Brown and Yelk too.
There's so much emphasis on that, being a controlled athlete.
I just and you're a big body control guy because you're one of the few people that I spend a lot of time around that understands that body control is actually it's a skill and a talent.
That's how I define athleticism, is how well you control your body.
It's fascinating. I enjoyed watching Corey Brown a little bit, but let me last one from me, TV. When you're going through these recruiting cycles and we're doing our own evals, you spend a lot of time watching guys. You're a meticulous note taker. You travel. How long do you think, how much data do you think you'll need before you start understanding or having a good grasp whether this is a financial thing, this is a recruitment thing, this is there's a price-driven market thing where it's like, yeah, I could see why some teams treat you like this based on some intangibles, because we're watching guys. We get an idea of what it takes to recruit them. Then you actually watch them, and do you think, are you getting enough data on how you think, yeah, he's asking for too much, or he's going to be a steal? Like, do you have enough anecdotal evidence yet as you kind of look at the market?
Somewhat. I would say it depends. Like at the Power 4 level, I think I have an idea of that. I think, especially I would say in the Big Ten and SEC of, what a steal looks like, what maybe an overpay looks like, what a reach looks like. But the market is still so undefined that it is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, yeah, like I maybe wouldn't have paid him that, but if your salary cap is 15 million more than the salary cap that most programs are operating on, then sure, like you spend that money, go for it. I think for me, I would say like I think in 27, what's been really informative has been seeing, like, I think this has been the first year where you're starting to see teams approach the recruitment from the jump with NIL strategy. This is I think this has been the first cycle where you've seen that. I think you're going to see it even more so in 28 moving forward. I my general policy is, because I'm for the kids too. It's like, look, your value is what someone's willing to pay you. If someone's willing to pay you that much to go play football for them, then yeah, that's what your value is, because this is an undefined market, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's you do have to be fair. You have to be honest about, where these players kind of slot in, what some of these players are asking for, and again, the impact. Like I would say this generally as a baseline at the Power 4 level, it's hard for me to excuse a program spending real money and getting into a real, I would say, bidding war for a prospect that is a true developmental prospect. Like, you don't see that guy contributing into the first 2 years of the program in any sort of way, because he needs time to develop. I have a hard time justifying that with the limited roster spots in this day and age, with the sense of urgency. I would say, especially at a few positions. I would say wide receiver is one of those positions. I mean, you have no excuse to not put up. If you're a powerful program, you have no excuse not to have a productive wide receiver room. Development is at an all-time high level. There's so many wide receiver prospects now, and they all play 7-on-7. They're all further developed than a decade ago. I just don't think there's an excuse to not have good receivers. I would say, DBs. Right, exactly, and it's at the power. If you're a powerful program, the only excuse I would say, and again, that's not even an excuse, because you should be better at this, is you just have a bad eye and you took the wrong guys. That's the only excuse really at a Power 4 level to have a bad receiver room. But if you've got if you know what you're looking for, yeah, there's no excuse. You can there's plenty of opportunity out there at receiver, but there's a few other positions like that. I would say interior of the offensive line is one of those where, like, look, the high end of it looks much different than a lot of the rest, but there's a lot of interior guys out there. They all come in all types of different shapes and sizes. You can develop them. Cornerback for me is another one, even though again at that very high end it looks different, but the overall point is, like, you have to, one, I think there's a misconception out there in the market that there's this big discrepancy in money program to program. Oftentimes it's within a couple, like, it's not that much. It's what's really separating them is ultimately the non-NIL stuff. It's the other factors that are separating these programs. But two, I think,
like housing, or like what do you mean?
No, look, so it'll be coaching, it'll be relationships, it'll be the opportunity to be developed. If I've got, let's say I've got $300K on the table from one program and $320 from the other program, and one is, hey, we've got a 2-year deal. The other one's, hey, a 1 year, and then we'll renegotiate after or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I like both of these programs a whole lot. I'm going to be looking at and this is how the kids work too. I'm going to be looking at the coach I have a better relationship with. Then I'm going to be looking at, okay, well, who produces more NFL talent? Well, okay, well, if I wasn't a football player, would I still like being a student athlete here? Those are the three factors we hear the most from recruits that matter the most outside of, and that, none of them mention NIL. Obviously it matters, but none of them mention it like that, because these are the first three things they mention typically.
To the point we were talking about in the first segment.
Yeah.
Where just simply showing up every day, right? Do I enjoy being here?
Yeah.
Is so understated, TV, but apparently not to you, because you just listed that in like your top three. But
no, when we talk about this generally,
I think we're missing the mark on that. Like, do I genuinely like being here?
Yeah.
It's all best out of someone, right? Like, you get the best out of people when they enjoy the place they're at.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that stuff that, like, and that's why some of it, like, we talk about, there's some of this conversation too. What kind of sucks about this is, okay, when you zoom out and look at the grand scale of things, if you're a young, let's say 29 prospect now, who had a good freshman season, is starting to generate some recruiting buzz, you're going to be pretty picky and choosing where you go to camps, or you may have a parent that's going to send you to a bunch of different camps, and you go to the camps and you perform well or whatever. And, some schools are just going to be looking at you, and maybe you have the leverage as this, this 29 that had a good, so you're going to get the, relatively, you're going to get the red carpet rolled for you on the camp. You're going to have, it's going to go, you're just going to be able to kind of go through the motions. They're going to pull you away regardless of what you do into the separate group that gets the private workout, and all of that. And you can kind of just kind of laze through it and be okay. And the school learns nothing about your character and learns nothing about who you are as a football player. And that's really unfortunate, where like I think, again, what it used to be was everyone would go out and camp regardless of what you did as a freshman. Then you learn about these guys, what how they're wired, who's coachable, who's not. I would say in the NIL era, more so than ever, the off the field eval is so critical. Like, do these guys love football? Are these guys, do they have a good head on their hair? Can we trust them? We're investing money in these guys. Can we trust them with the money we've invested in them? But then, we also, the kids have so much leverage now, and the players have so much leverage, and the market is where it's at, where schools, media, athletic departments, they don't often get the full view of what the kid's personality is or how he's truly wired until he gets to campus.
I mean, you know what? It reminds me of your favorite Signetti quote, just being willing to say no.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, you're not going to come to campus so I can get a feel for that? Sorry, no.
And, it's just fascinating. It's like the first segment all over again. Because TV, I think, what's interesting is coaches, I think, they're not saying it out loud because you can't deter good players from wanting to come to your school. But nobody wants to coach somebody that's just for the money. So the more time you can spend around them, obviously the better gauge you can get on that. Because at the end of the day, if you're chasing it, they'll go chase it someplace else the minute it gets tough. And coaches, they hate being at the mercy of that.
Yeah, and you don't need to put yourself there. The rosters, you also have the rosters basically flip over every 6 months at this point, if not a year. The rosters basically flip. Like, you don't need to put yourself in that position where you're wasting a roster spot on a guy where, okay, we're gonna invest all this time into recruiting him, and we're gonna invest 6 months in developing him. We're gonna invest, we're gonna have him, make sure he's not pissed off on the football field as a freshman, make sure he gets out on the field. Oh, well, he was a little pissed off and he left. Like something happened and he left. And what are we going to do? We invested all that time and all that resources in him. And we could have just had, another DB who wanted to really be here, or another whatever who wanted to really be here and worked his ass off or whatever. And, camped and did all of this but wasn't maybe the athlete, or wasn't the caliber from a prospect standpoint, didn't have the stars by his name.
That's our guy, Tim VERGHESE, Inside Nebraska. Tim, great stuff as always. We appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, TV.
That is Tim VERGHESE from Inside Nebraska. Really good stuff there from Tim. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next. My philosophy in general, I'm going to keep it really simple here. We want to do things better than they ever done before. So we keep that simple. And I want to make a point here. Coach Porter was phenomenal in helping me out make the adjustment. Most coaches say just figure it out. It was amazing to me that I sat down, talked to him on the phone for over 2 hours because his investment in this community and this program. So I hope that if he's here, I want you to know that. If he's not, this is an amazing transition that he's helped me out with. That is, we have to recognize that. My philosophy, like I said, do things better than they ever done before, is really important to me. And that's in everything. That's from the weight room. That's from the classroom. That's from recruiting. It's something I'm very dear to myself in, that I want to be as a person, okay? You're either competing or you're not.
Yeah, I just think that this year the guys behind closed doors, we're able to see what a true player-led team looks like. And so the guys that are going to be back understand that that's really where it starts. So, our job as coaches is to go out and try to improve the roster this summer, find the right pieces of the puzzle, because that's the way you keep the momentum. But these guys, again, sometimes you just have to do it to prove that it can happen, and we did that 25 years ago when nobody thought we'd ever have a chance to play in the College World Series at the University of Nebraska. We did it, and it's been 18 years since we hosted a regional. We've got the most wins since we've had since 2005. These guys have laid the groundwork, but it doesn't just stop there, right? And these guys have proven time and time again that the best teams are player-led, and that's what they have. That's what we have to take to next year, is the understanding of the guys in the clubhouse of what it takes to set the standard every single day, and they've had amazing ambassadors for that.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you, make sure you get to unionomaha.com to get tickets for this Saturday. That's tomorrow, their match against Fort Wayne FC. Tickets are available at unionomaha.com, 7 p.m. at Morrison Stadium. Watch your Union Omaha squad take on Fort Wayne, and watch, I think it's going to be a nice day. Hopefully we avoid a little bit of rain. Get out there and watch a little professional soccer here in the Metro. It's unionomaha.com. DB.
You in on the slow burn of the recruiting process versus the race to arms to get guys in?
Yes. Yeah, I am, because the arms race thing is in almost anything ever not sustainable. Like, at no point have we ever seen an arms race just go on into eternity forever. That's not a thing, right? People burn out, resources run out, the priorities change, agendas change, regimes change, whatever we're talking about in all aspects of life. Arms races never last forever, right? So understanding that and choosing to do something differently, I think, is beneficial, especially in college football.
How much fun do you think you would have if you had to be at the mercy of the money somebody was asking for as an elite level player?
I think that's why we're seeing coaches retire.
Shane, let me play. You have any of the rule clips ready?
Yeah, they're all ready. Which one?
Play clip 4.
It is establishing the expectation of what this is. And it's one thing to just the university. What a beautiful university, 2 campuses here, here in Lincoln, the facilities that we have, the fan base that we have. I would say that, like, we haven't had many recruits fly up to a game that don't tell us that, like, hey, on my flight in, someone was just raving, knew who I was and was raving about, we'll walk through the farmer's market on Saturday on our official visit. Like, just the love that they feel from the fans, just the love they feel from the people of Lincoln, how welcoming that is. And I think it really sets people at ease. Like, hey, I can send my son here. I can send my grandson here. And then letting them know how great Lincoln is, letting them know how great Omaha is, letting them know how great the entire state is. Like, you're not going to come to a place with better people, with better fan support, with just a great way to live. I mean, you're going to play at least 12 games every year. We plan on playing a lot more, but there's also another 350 some days that you're going to live here. And we want you to know that this is a place you can make your home. And how many players come from other places and play here, and either their family moves here because they love it, or they end up moving back here or staying here. So I think that's a key part. And then once we have guys on official visits and they've been here a couple of times, they've been to a game, they see, the one of the most amazing game day atmospheres in the world. Once they come on their official visit, then it's really about answering their questions and setting a vision for them. When you go off to college, you want to know that you want to know that your life's going to be better, And so, our vision for them, how we're going to develop them, how we're going to utilize them, letting them meet everyone that's going to pour into them every day. Talking to them about the student they're going to be, the degree they're going to be, and the person we expect them to be, and we want to help them become.
Isn't that interesting? And appreciate that was Coach Rule with Kyle Crooks last night on Husker Sports Nightly. So we appreciate the folks from the Husker Radio Network. We have no idea that that's happening yesterday, or that that's a question Kyle's going to ask. And it's on the heels of what we've been talking about the last 3 weeks with this June camp recruiting cycle.
Yeah.
Right? It just, you hear it independent of all the other things that we've been talking about. And you're like, oh man, come on. Come on. Like, how? That's pretty myopic. That's pretty Pollyannish, right? And go ahead.
I think the only people that think that are people that haven't had choices before.
Okay. That's fair, right? So you hear it and you're like, that's not some song and dance. That's literally how they're trying to recruit. Even in this world of 2-year deals or am I going to pay a high schooler NIL or, such and such person wants this and can you move me here? The way they're seriously trying to play the long game and hope they can wait this thing out by just having buy-in. Right now, you obviously have to have some things to go with it. You've got to be able to develop. You have got to be able to hit on the majority of your evaluation.
Yeah, your evals have to be great.
Yeah, but I think that's why they're taking their time. And I've talked to a few guys that have left and have tried to do other things at other places. And I think almost to a man or to a student athlete, they would tell you they wish they had been a little more patient with the development.
With the process?
Yeah. Because at some point you have to, I keep saying this.
Oh, I think I know one you're talking about.
You have to like where you have to like being there.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought that up to Tim. Like, being somewhere you enjoy being is going to bring the best out of you. Yeah. It's one of the things that I liked the most about when we talked to Coach Hurd from Omaha softball, which congrats on the extension for Coach Hurd.
Yeah, that was quick.
Don't blame him. My man's going to have options. Talk about choices, right?
Team Coach Hurd.
But one of the things that he said, and this really resonates with me because I think it's way more important, and it sort of comes off, not when he says it, because he's pretty hard-nosed, no nonsense. When I say
about Coach Hurd?
Yeah. When I say it, it comes off a little touchy-feely, but we're saying the exact same thing. He said, this is almost a quote. It's certainly the sentiment. I try and create a place where the players can be themselves because that's when I know I'm going to get the best out of them. Right? Like, that's the authenticity.
That's funny. Of all the things that, and I told you, he's fascinating.
No, he's great. I got to talk to him real briefly at the Oscars. Like, good dude. I like him a lot.
That's cute, but we're not sharing him.
Well, listen, he came up to me. I don't know what you want me to do.
I tried to talk to him for a few years now. I didn't even, he doesn't give me the sense that he enjoys media.
Oh, I don't think he does, but he was very gracious.
And I'm kind of that closet stalker, right? So I'm watching him from afar just because of my relationships with his cousin, like just with his family.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm seeing him at the youth level and like this rise. And I'm like, this guy is so ingratiated. He is so involved in this world. Like, he has a really clear understanding. Right. And then you watch like just him stacking bricks. And I'm like, this dude's absolutely fascinating. Right. And you get the demeanor.
The reason that resonates with me, though, is that's not a guy you expect to hear that from. Right. Like, he seems.
That's funny. That's very interesting.
The other thing is, I told somebody this years ago because they said something to me. And this was like after I had like gone through some things and like gone to therapy and things like that, and kind of learned more about myself and where I like was able to operate at the highest level, at least my highest level. Is somebody had said something to me about the way I treated them, to the positive. I know that's surprising, but I said, I try and give people the space to be authentically who they are, because that's the only thing that I think will give people a chance, right? I think that's a really great gift you can give others, is to give them the space in your life to be authentically who they are, so they don't have to pretend to be somebody else. That's basically what Coach Hurd was saying. And that's basically what we're talking about here with Nebraska football. But you have to figure that out over a longer period of time, because if you don't like who that person authentically is, it's still not going to work.
What did we just hear Coach Bolt say in that clip during the break about player-led teams and creating an environment where they can be themselves?
Yes. But you have to
he literally just said that during the break.
But you have to get the right players. And again, Coach Bolt, not a touchy-feely, like, kumbaya, hold hands, go to therapy guy.
Yeah.
But it's the exact same sentiment from Coach Hurd to Coach Bolt.
We heard it from Coach Hoiberg.
To Coach Hoiberg.
That's what made this team unique.
Special, yes. Everybody had the space to be themselves.
What did we hear from Jordy Fromm and Coach Ravel and Ava Cusack and Hannah Core about?
Hannah Core is a great example of this, because she wasn't successful at her previous stop.
Being freed up to be authentically her.
Yeah. And that is the place where you can be successful.
But here's the funny thing. It's like when we let AJ off the chain, you know, it's like, hey, he's off the leash, and you feel like you're giving up this control, right? Just can chime in whenever, you know, Rico, like.
But that's the best version of those guys.
Those guys are, listen, you got something to say?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's not going to fly for other people, other places.
No, absolutely not.
But how do we get the best out of them? You have to allow you have to allow them the space. Yeah, like if I was pretty taken aback, right?
Yes.
Like I couldn't even figure out what was just.
I thought he was coming in to fix cameras or something.
So to that point, though, it's like, is there anything more Austin than doing that?
Yeah.
Well, and Damon, just to that same point, not for, you know, obviously the S&G of grabbing the chicken, all that sort of stuff, but here at this place at Hurrdat, when I was in traditional radio and I was, you know, going to games and broadcasting games and doing that sort of stuff, I thought that that's what I really enjoyed doing. I thought that was my number one. But when I get to let loose for 2 straight weeks at state basketball, and I just like literally they just send me out to the smallest of schools, the smaller classes, and I just get to talk and interact, and I get to interview kids after their games, and I get to, you know, do all this other stuff. That's where I feel like I am succeeding the most. And that's where I actually feel like I am the most productive, because it's the longest of days, but it's because I feel genuinely happy doing it each and every time.
And it's pretty cool, because he'll message the same thing. Hey man, love doing the show. You know, just it.
Still trying to get that follow back on Twitter from Ant, but that's okay.
You guys keep it a buck. Like, you know, it's just kind of free to be me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's intentional, but you, again, like this, sometimes it's not for everybody.
For sure.
Right? Like it's kind of loosey-goosey sometimes. But how do we get the best? Why do we think he's so good with us?
Because he can be the best version of him.
Yeah, he can say, listen, man, like, syrup, really? Or come here, let me smell you. Like, or
he's showing the fruit bowls, or he's like holding court with our chat.
Yeah, he's just talking to the chatter. He's saying you're fortunate to be here.
Yeah,
as from a birth stamp. Like,
just hope your dad didn't have an extra beer that night.
I think that's why Foreman likes talking to us.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's also not just Ant or Foreman. Like the Husker Radio Network guys, I've heard on many other stations and across the state, right? Like they do like hits. They get asked about all their sports, right? But when they come on here, they sound so different, because like you guys opened up yesterday with Bruns for the first 15 minutes of his 30-minute segment, talking about Major League Baseball and everything else that goes around. Whereas if somebody asked Bruns, if a different producer for a different show or whatever is asking Bruns to come on, he is strictly talking about the end of the Husker baseball season, the recruitment. You know what I mean? Like, it's true. That's the difference.
And I don't want to make this too like philosophical, but we like Bruns. Right, we like him as a person, and so
he's very funny last night.
And there's a relationship there, and this is how I tie it back to the recruiting, right? Because relationally, we like him, we know about him, we care about him as a person, and so it isn't like a lot of you've done how many radio, TV, you've done a million of these hits, right? Like a lot of them feel a little transactional, right? Like, hey, you come on here, we need this from you, you get this from us. That's what it is, right? I don't feel like, I would imagine most people, I mean, we're going to talk to Big A later, right? We're not going to talk about the Belmont until probably the last 5 minutes of that segment.
It just depends. Yeah, you just never know.
Depends.
The thing about it is we just never know.
Don't know what his roster's looking like. Don't know where Rodman and Jordan are. Like, it just, but
I like even the Mitch Sherman segment.
Yeah.
Like I was a little afraid to go there about some random things because it's like.
And you've known Mitch forever.
Yeah, right.
You guys went to school together, right? Like you guys,
but I think he's gonna say, "Oh, that's just Damon being dumb," or like whatever. So it's just.
But I think there's a part of it that even if it's a little out of their comfort zone, that people like because there's a relational aspect to it. Most of the guys, girls, whoever that we have on the show, we have some kind of a relationship, even if it started through the show.
I had to super confide in Bruntz last night because I'm looking at some of the write-ups about the camp.
Sure.
And I was like, hey, and I sent this to Bruntz in BC, and a lot of it is because of our relationship. And I was like, hey, I want to, Mike is a little different. I want to give every opportunity for him to keep an open mind. Like, is there any way we cannot always say,
give the context,
son of, brother to, like, I'm like, he really hates that. This is like, and Bruntz, because he can talk to me a certain way, he's like, look, that's kind of part of it. When he starts establishing his own deal as this goes on, we'll get less and less, like he'll be further removed from that. And I, because it was a tough night, and I'm just thinking, like, sooner the better. Like, and I'm not saying I want him to go to a certain school, but what I'm saying is I don't want any preconceived notions because of.
You don't want something because of the way he's wired. You don't want something that doesn't really matter to influence his decision.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
And read Bruntz's write up.
Yeah.
He did me a solid.
Well, it's because Brunt's a good guy.
But I had to be able to ask him that. Right.
Yeah. You had to be comfortable having that conversation.
And I got to be vulnerable because he could be like, he could be like, look, man, like, this is just kind of how it goes. Like,
don't tell me how to do my job.
It's not even so much that. It was, this is just kind of how it goes to make the connection early on.
Sure.
And I'd have been like, yeah, but like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Like
HBO a little bit here.
Help.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to be able to ask for, it's not something we enjoy doing as dudes. Right.
Yeah.
But it's like,
sometimes you have to.
Like, this, like, help.
Help me. That's we got Mike Sautter coming up here next, a guy that we know very well. We'll be right back here on Hurrdat Sports Live to get to Mike. Little Hurrdat Sports, little NAB preps from Sautter right after this.
Yeah, we really wanted to test ourselves in the preseason. I thought it was great last year when we played BYU, and we got a really good feel for how our guys were going to go out there and compete against a top 10 team. And that game obviously went very well for us. And this year with 3 of those games, I think we've announced 2 of them. The third one should be announced shortly. But it's 3 really good opportunities for us. As far as our scheduling, we're trying to get a home and home with a high major team. We're having a lot of trouble getting those kind of games set right now. Just the landscape of where we are, everybody's playing neutral site games right now, just to try to bolster up their budgets. And, we have some of those in place. I think we've announced most of them, Seamus, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of them. And, we're working on some others. But we're trying. We're having a lot of trouble scheduling high major games and starting home and home series. It's just a really difficult thing to do in today's landscape. So we're doing the best we can. We feel good about the schedule with where it is right now. And, those neutral site games are important for a team like us. We have to do everything we can, to compete against teams that spend a lot more money than we do. So, that's part of the process. It's the, one of the things that you just have to do in this business to give yourself as much of a competitive advantage as you can. So, scheduling is a lot different than it used to be.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Mike SAUTTER, Hurrdat Sports and NAB Preps. Mike, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Doing good today.
Doing good today.
How is Don Benning's son doing today?
What a Richard cranium. You have no chill. Just zero chill. Don Benning's son is doing fine. You're a jackass. This is the same crybaby.
What?
Wednesday that was like,
I'm saying hello. I'm just saying
working.
hello.
No, that's not what you were saying, Dilrod. This dude was working. He was along the track. He was kind of by himself. His back was to me. I don't know if he was like working on his camera and doing some stuff, obviously getting ready to drop some content.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll get back to him. But I was walking off. There were some other people that I was talking to walking off the field. So, and I had to touch the rock, and I was making my way into the school. And this dummy goes, "Hey, hi, good talk. Thanks for coming to speak." I was like, "Look, man, so, like you were working. Like you have zero chill." I was trying to respect the fact you were creating content. What was wrong with that?
I had been there for like an hour and 15, maybe an hour and a half. He walked over, Don Benning's son, Mercedine Benning's son.
Yeah.
Walked over, said hello to Christian and Jackson, who happened to be 10 feet maybe from me. "Oh, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Hey, hey.
They're the young guys, man.
Hey. I understand.
And then
plus they were rocking our gear. They had the Hurrdat gear on. I was like,
okay.
I don't know, Jerome. I just got
I didn't. I casually just decided to show up that day without one of the 4 NEB Preps polos or 4 pullover shirts or hat or whatever.
I'm not going to kid you. Like, you had on, you were very monochromatic and you were along the fence. I thought you were one of the gate greats. Like, no, I'm serious. He just like fit in with like the pole. I'm sorry.
I was wearing all black that day, but no, it would have been cool. Just like a, hey, I didn't need a dap up, hug,
Coach
handshake.
Goes, is he mad at you? I said, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Just a casual hello. Hey, I've known you for 15 years plus.
I'm sorry. I did talk to our guys first. That was probably wrong.
Even like a deep wave across the field would have been like, hey.
Just the long distance head nod.
Yeah, anything.
You were never in the same place for more than 3 minutes. So I was like, I thought I saw you once, then I lost track. Like, I don't know. You were everywhere.
Walked by me 4 times. No big deal. Yeah, no big deal.
Dude, that environment was pretty intense, bro.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's a Wednesday in June. Calm down. Like, calm down.
Dude, zero chill. Could you believe that?
There was a dust. Well, that wasn't the only thing that happened this week yesterday, basketball. But yeah, Wednesday in June, and we are just like chirping. Like it was a dust up. It could have elevated. It was very much so could have elevated because both teams were kind of like in it. Man, like that's why helmets at 7-on-7 or passing league is a thing. There was a couple of collisions that were like, okay, if they didn't have a helmet on, they probably would have slowed up a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
I had to tell Breeze, I'm like, let that go.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Right? Like, he's gonna be a catch. And I was like, bro, we're not
doing this.
No, we're not doing this.
Well, I mean, yesterday there was a full-out brawl in a summer league basketball high school game.
Oh, what 2 schools?
Lincoln.
I should have known because I saw you. Yeah.
Lincoln. Yeah, there was. I mean, not only just kids. I'm talking about like 2-hand shove in the back on a breakaway layup, and then turned into a thing, and then turned into more of a thing with parents and stuff. And it's like, dude,
Coach Lamonge and Coach Burrell got that thing under control.
Yeah, it turned out to be okay, fine. But it's just like sometimes it's just okay to just like chill for.
I think it's just there's a lot of talent.
I'll be honest, 2-handed shove in the back on a layup is about the fastest way to start a brawl in basketball. Either that or undercutting a jumper.
And plus, you know what it was, Jerome, I think that kind of jumped it off other than the talent was when Trae and Tay jumped, like when they just sat in the stands and chilled, like I think everybody was on high alert. Like
everybody noticed. You could tell that they were there, which, hey, fine, like cool, show up. I saw them yesterday. I was in Miller South yesterday. So, but yeah, again, Wednesday in June passing league, compete, talk a little bit, but there's no reason to like get to throwing hands, right? Like, or even close to that. I just don't see a reason ever for really that, especially in a passing league game that like no one's keeping score. Like it's.
Oh, and enjoy the 18th and 19th.
Hey,
enjoy the 18th and 19th.
It already cost enough. I might have to.
No, it'll be chill. It'll be chill. Like,
yeah,
that is a highly competitive environment, though.
It is, and I want it to be that way. And I don't mind a little bit of chirping back and forth. But when it starts to get to like a level of, then we need to realize what we're doing. Right.
In order of intense environments, agree or disagree? Softball, 7-on-7, AAU.
Softball is very intense because I think it's just a close quarters, right? Like there's just the field isn't as big, the dugouts are closer, all of that stuff. Nah, I would say in the right AAU environment or summer basketball environment, when you get parents involved and stuff like that, it can get a little hot. Like it can get pretty hot. I'd put that one at the top.
All right. What is your ranking different if we're talking about toxicity rather than intensity? Because I think AAU is definitely one there.
Yeah, that's still number one. That's still number one. 7-on-7 is kind of getting there, but it's a little bit different because you're not as close to the action. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably a little bit more. And
Lincoln kind of flipped the script on the whole Metro bugaboo thing. I think it started with like Ike Gifford and those guys when they hammered North. We saw it trickle into basketball, 20 right before COVID, then post COVID, like Lincoln's youth scene and kind of them stockpiling talent at different schools has created like this. They've definitely upped the fervor within Lincoln is super heated, but now it is transitioned to when they take their act on the road, like they've upped the ante. They're not taking a back seat.
Yeah, basketball for sure. Like obviously Southwest won a title first time in forever. Lincoln High was really good again. North Star obviously was good at basketball, just obviously didn't make the state tournament.
East had ran baseball.
Yeah, East is,
not anymore.
East is still a baseball powerhouse. And Pius is building new facilities and you got a bunch of young coaches. Like they're gonna, that thing might flip a little bit too there. So I guess this is a good, decent segue here. I saw for the first time in my life, I may or may not have been given the May 1 transfer list. I didn't ask. It was just provided. It was like, hey, here's this. And I'm like, oh, I'll take a look at that because I'm interested. Basically, every school in Lincoln got double-digit transfers. So,
you think we'll be talking about that this year in football or no?
Probably not. Like Lincoln. I'm talking all sports, not just one sport, right? Like I'm talking, it could be a robotics team, it could be robotics or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm talking everything. So Lincoln Southwest got 16, Lincoln High got 15, North Star got 5, so that's not double digits. Lincoln Northeast got 13, Lincoln East got 12, Lincoln Northwest got 12, Lincoln Southeast got 11. Fremont actually got 11 too.
Well, yeah, Lincoln East had to reload on the baseball team after their stunning defeat state. So,
Yeah. And
Coach Lanik will easily come karate chop Ravi in the throat, even though Ravi's being sarcastic. Lanik doesn't mess around.
And I don't know what you're laughing about over there, Mr. Westside, because they were clearly the number one.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
With them on the May 1 list with the most kids headed to that school off Pacific Street.
It's very nice. It's a very nice place to go to school. Modular scheduling.
Listen, hey, and there's nothing wrong with making your school attractive. Go for it. That's the day and age we live in. Sweet. Like awesome. I don't have any problem with it at all, to be honest. Like,
I'm here for it. I want more. I want the other school on Pacific Street, my school on Pacific Street. Like, let's go.
They got their fair share.
Let's go. Like, give me the guys. Give me the dudes.
Did you not? I'm telling you, you should have been at 7-on-7. You'd be like, oh, that's where he wound up. Oh, him. Oh, that. Like,
I mean, I didn't know I was going to have to be hopping fences to get in there. Didn't know that was a thing. Thought maybe we had gates or something. I'm not as young as I used to be, DB.
Well, you jumped a fence.
Next gen is
no. Trey and Tay had to hop a fence to get in.
They just don't know where to go yet.
Yeah, when you're the only two people over there, it's like, okay, you
guys want to know while we're on this topic, here's the number of schools that have added double-digit transfers. You want me to just go down the list from one?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay,
even though I've seen it.
Westside number 1 with 34. Millard North number 2 with 20, Millard South number 3 with 17, Lincoln Southwest with 16 is number 4, Lincoln High with 15 is 5th, Omaha Buena Vista with 14 is 6th, Lincoln Northeast is 7th with 13, tied with Omaha Central for 7th with 13. Lincoln East and Lincoln Northwest both got 12. Tie for 9th with Fremont and Lincoln Southeast and Papio South, each with 11. Lincoln Christian had 10, Bellevue West had 10, Millard West had 10. That's the double-digit numbers. Those are the schools that got double-digit transfers. Again, could be
shout out,
could be golf, swimming, robotics class. I don't know. Like, could be whatever. Just as far as what the May 1 list says, that's the numbers.
Do you think people are going to be tweeting a lot about the robotics team getting too many transfers?
No, but I'm just saying that's
no,
just,
I understand your context.
Yeah, I just went down the list of like
total transfers, not
I didn't look at the names and what sports they played. I just went down the list and the schools that added the most transfers or got the most. Now those schools probably lost some people too. So I didn't do that math yet. But if you like me to, I can. Different.
If you're interested in fence hopping, man, you can go over with me to Next Gen.
No,
Yeah.
I'm good. I actually, when I was at Millard South yesterday, they have a little fence. And actually, good player transfer from Lincoln East. He hopped the little fence to get over after getting water, and he rolled his ankle. It was funny.
And you send him? No, not sending him.
No, he can't. He's not old enough.
It was funny. So,
how did hoops go for you yesterday?
Yesterday I was not at basketball. I just went to Millard South football. Where was that? Hoops Millard. I was at prep on Monday night. Friday I was at Millard West.
How is
North.
Coach Lutke doing?
He was in a really good mood, actually.
Good for him.
So that's good for the summer. Someone that really enjoys June basketball and people keeping scores and stuff like that. He was good. I will tell you, Max Jungers looked pretty good on Monday night.
Yeah, well, Lord knows he's plenty capable.
Yeah, no, he had they were forcing baseline. He took a one dribble between the legs, step back, corner three off of basically 1 foot splash. I was like, whoa, okay. Like, it was pretty tough. So
how do you think Papio South transitions? I mean, they have a lot of chemistry and camaraderie there with Coach Heesier going on to Kearney.
Cooley's been there forever. It's been his job. Like, he's basically been the coach in waiting forever. I don't think much is going to change, to be honest. Like, as far as that's concerned,
it helps when Webb is back.
Yeah, Levi Webb's gonna
again. I'd like to thank Omaha Westside for his coming out party.
He's gonna be able to shoot the ball just about whenever he wants.
I love that about their kind of philosophy and style. We've seen it with Ball and some of these guys, but the freedom to play free within that offense is got to be pretty fun. Right.
Like, it is fun. They obviously added a piece or two to help them and help Levi. They've got to find a secondary or third scorer at Papio South to help them out a little bit. So, I mean, so far, to be honest, in the little bit that I've seen, and tomorrow it'll be a full day at Creighton's team camp. That's like 9 to 8 p.m. So just sit in the gym tomorrow. But Millard South basketball is the team that's looked pretty dang good right now.
Yeah, they got a very surprising addition. I mean, a mainstay at the last name at another school decides to change addresses. That's a big get. That's a good get.
I'm telling you, they're gonna be squarely in the mix, in the conversation, all of that. Also with that, Carter Margon is out for football. So big, strong kid. Didn't do football last year. Wanted to focus solely on basketball. It's obviously got good feet and all that stuff. So him playing a little bit of like a displaced tight end is pretty good. So
unless you're coaching against him, but good for him.
I'm just saying.
They're going to have some options. Let me ask you about how long do you think it takes Coach Simons to sort through the options with his backcourt? You kind of settle in with some new additions, and obviously to complement London Dada, who is on track for a huge senior season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So Johnson wasn't there on Friday when I saw them. So hopefully tomorrow, I guess at Creighton's team camp, they'll have full slate. And honestly, they were like 2 days into. There's a lot of newness there with pieces and what it's going to look like. So London clearly will, I think, have a pretty big year. Obviously, a big target on his back as well. But it's going to look and feel a lot different. I mean, same system, probably 5-out stuff, but you have guards like a Bryce Johnson can just get downhill on you, on basically anybody. Yasir is another one, right, that can kind of help you with some ball handling and dribbling and stuff. That it's going to look and feel different because London's clearly, the biggest guy there, but he's not a post. So like, how do you use him? What does it look like? Guards are going to have to rebound down a lot and really help them. But I have full faith in Coach Simons that he'll be able to get it done and figure it out. And that staff is pretty good. So a lot of basketball knowledge over there. And I think they'll be fine. But it's like I say, it's June. Friday was the first time I saw them, and they had literally practiced for maybe 2 days in the summer. So like there's time.
Let me ask you about the changes in Lincoln from a basketball standpoint. Are you surprised? Maybe it's not a grass is greener thing, but maybe who I want to play with, I think, in terms of some of the movements there, if you want to speak to that a little bit. But it should be fairly balanced at the top.
Yeah, you would think, North Star, I think, is probably one of those teams just because of the continuity of the team. They've been together. The core of that group's been together. And Jordan Castor is one of the best players in the senior class. They should be pretty good again. I think Lincoln High has a chance to be pretty good again and make a run at a state championship. Southwest clearly won't be bad. Dakari Wilson's going to take that kind of lead guy role there, and Southeast added some pieces. So I think it'll be really competitive. I saw Lincoln East Monday night too, and Coach Campbell does a great job. We know that. Like, I mean, they're running sets and stuff on a Monday night in June, like real, like stuff.
He's a joy. I know he thinks I'm weird that I like him so much, but he's a joy to watch coach.
I think it'll be pretty balanced there.
Where do you put Standing Bear in that conversation?
They're coming. I mean, Standing Bear is going to be like the thing, right? Like it'll be they're coming event for football and basketball and all that stuff. They're definitely coming because their location, one, demographics is a thing, right? And probably because Standing Bear's there, you don't lose kids maybe to a Norris or something that you did before because it's close proximity. But I think basketball in Lincoln is obviously on a high note right now. And I think that's probably going to continue. And it's really balanced, to be honest. And so far of what I've seen, just a little bit I've seen in a couple of days.
Mike, I want to go back to London Dada here for a second. I don't think we've talked to you much about him since his commitment to Creighton. It seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it seemed like when the offer initially came out, it was, hey, we like the size, we like the shooting, seems like there's some upside and some potential here. Worst case scenario, he's a kid that loves the program and can be a good factor there. Where did it progress from that to the point when he committed? And I think we view him a little bit differently as a prospect now.
Yeah, to be honest, when they offered him was over a year ago or whatever. Now
a reach, right?
No, well, a little bit, but you saw you saw like the size and the shooting ability, like he was 14, right? Or 15. Yeah. You have to project out and be able to see the future there. And now he's coming. Like he's getting bigger. He told me, I mean, that happened Friday. And he told me, he said, I asked him specifically, I said, okay, where are we at height weight right now today? And he goes like 6'8" and 190 or something. Like, that's pretty good for like from where he used to be. So he's put on a lot of weight and things like that. He's obviously matured just as a person, like in just conversations and stuff. I think it's a great fit. When Creighton first offered, I was like, I wouldn't have got off the phone. I probably would have just said yes, because I think he's a great fit for how I guess Mac has played at Creighton. His shooting ability. We're talking about a 40% career 3-point shooter in high school right now. That's amazing. So size is great. He's got to still get tougher and physically, stronger and all that stuff. There might be a redshirt plan there. Obviously, I think that's probably part of it. But I think he'll be just fine. But his passing ability is something that is extremely underrated. Friday, he split he's on the 3-point line and hit a teammate on a break, splitting 2 defenders on 2 bounce passes that the guy caught on the other end, like on the elbow. It was incredible. I was like, whoa, holy crap. And I was standing next to, I think Coach Irwin at Midland was watching too. I go, did you see that? Like we both were like, whoa, that's different. So not only is it the scoring stuff, but all the skill work stuff. And he works really hard. I do think I think it's a really good fit for him at Creighton London. And does he still have to get tougher? His ball handling has to get better. Is he a perfect prospect? No. But I think he fits Creighton really, really nicely, especially if they're going to play the same offensive style, which I think they are.
You get a chance to flip over to the state school real quick to get you out of here with Nebraska. A lot of preseason buzz. Coach Hoiberg likes this roster. He's talked a lot about chemistry. He's talked about the evolution of Frager. He was very specific about playmaking and defending and having all the attributes to guard and kind of how he's added the pieces in the portal. Is this the first time you've been able to kind of envision sustained success because you can see the blueprint?
Yeah, the blueprint's there. You're 100% right. I think this is Nebraska should be a top 25 team, right at it, to start the season and all the preseason stuff before they do the exhibition games. One of the 14 they're going to play. No, I think it's like 3. 3 exhibitions. But I think
plus they added Missouri and
I mean their non-con is pretty good. Like you're doing a neutral site against Boise State. You're doing exhibition with St. Louis and an exhibition with BYU, 2 solid programs. I mean, St. Louis has kind of got that thing rolling right now. And then you're doing a neutral site with Missouri and Boise, and I think they're probably trying to work on something else. And a quote unquote neutral site in Connecticut against Providence, who's going to be a really good team. And that's going to be at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. I think you don't schedule that if you don't think you're sustained success, right? So I think it's one of those things where they're not afraid to take a loss in the non-con. Maybe the last couple years they were like, like let's kind of lighten this load a little bit to get some wins. But they've done a good job. I mean, at the presser was Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday. I asked Coach Hoiberg about how hard is it to schedule the, non-con games against power opponents. And I asked him specifically about playing Providence, and he said they've got a really good team. They've done a good job in the portal. And I think Nebraska's done a pretty good job in the portal. I'm excited to see whenever we can get the opportunity, hopefully sometime in June or July here to actually see them get up and down and maybe, the 10 minutes of layup lines that we get to see on occasion. That would be great. But from on paper, they look pretty good. I think Sam Worm is really a huge upgrade.
You've talked to him a couple of times. I know, you get the sense he's gonna like being here too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It feels like a likable guy. offensively, he's a significant upgrade over VERGHESE. Defensively, we'll see about that, but offensively, clearly, he can shoot the corner three and make it. He can shoot threes all over and make it, and he can take a bigger guy off the dribble and go in and actually dunk the ball, which Coach Hurrdat said the other day that he had more dunks than they did as a team last year. So
I think he's really going to enjoy their offensive creativity too.
Yeah, he'll be great.
Dry erase board.
The key will be obviously the ball initiator of the offense person. Trevin Lenhart is the person that they've kind of pegged to do that. But Taj, I gotta work on the last name. San Diego State transfer. Didn't play. His numbers aren't great, but he is a slasher, scorer, athlete, long guy. I think he's going to be in that conversation too. And obviously Sanford and Cale Jacobson you're gonna lean on those guys to be the vocal leadership piece, which will be interesting because they had a lot of that in that core group that had been together for a while, and they don't really have that this time. So who's gonna maybe step into that role? Obviously, they are very mature and going to be a mature roster because everyone is engaged or married on that team right now. So.
I can't come from college practice and be like, "Hey, honey, I'm home."
Lenhart's married. Lenhart's married. Sanford, Jacobson, Sam Hoiberg, which probably will be around a little bit, are engaged. So
I don't know.
I like this, Jerome. This was a very good. This was good. You should start out being a Richard Cranium more often. This was a good segment.
Hey, did you know your dad is famous and his name is Don Benning?
Okay.
Hey, Mike, thanks for bringing my Miller North stuff to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. See you later, Don.
Combat fire with fire. I had to give up the swag that was offered to him that I didn't want to give him.
Oh. Yeah, we had to get the Westside hat in here today. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, fellas. Westside football. My second favorite.
I added the 7-on-7 trophy up there. I will bring it on the 18th and 19th, though. It's up there.
Look like a little mini Lombardi up there.
That's what I like that style of a trophy. It's a little thing. See if Westside can get out of the quarterfinals this year or semis or whatever. But
I like how that trophy matches how many the Jets have.
Can we talk to the NSAA about?
That's not even.
Can we talk to the NSAA about getting cooler trophies? Can we do that?
Nah, that was all. That I was actually in that board meeting when they were like making the medals bigger and they had to vote on it and all that stuff. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, so. I get the plaques are fine to put on the walls in the school. Can I get a cool trophy though? Is that let's make something happen there?
Hey, shout out getting out of the quarters.
True. Yeah. Hey, Miller South lost in the semis to Omaha North too, so it's not like
catching strays out here.
Yeah, just don't schedule us. We had a tough draw.
The Jets won't even make the playoffs. You're fine.
Here comes God.
Just wait till Jet Tamala has to be out of town, and then you play the Miller South. Helped a lot last year.
True.
Damn. True. Oh, sorry. It was easier to beat him when their Alabama quarterback was there. Take. My bad.
In 7-on-7, the quarterback kind of matters. I don't know.
Nobody's safe around these parts.
Hey, Don Benning's son. Maybe next time you'll say hi to me. So.
All right, Jerome. Not now.
See you, Mike. Talk to you later.
Wow.
That's Mike Sautter, Hurrdat Sports NMB Preps. We'll be right back with the Big A, Anthony Stabile, talk a little Belmont Stakes here on Hurrdat Sports Live. My philosophy in general, I'm going to keep it really simple here. We want to do things better than they ever done before. So we keep that simple. And I want to make a point here. Coach Porter was phenomenal in helping me out make the adjustment. Most coaches say just figure it out. It was amazing to me that I sat down, talked to him on the phone for over 2 hours.
because his investment in this community and this program. So I hope that if he's here, I want you to know that. If he's not, this is an amazing transition that he's helped me out with. That is, we have to recognize that. My philosophy, like I said, do things better than ever done before, is really important to me. And that's in everything. That's from the weight room. That's from the classroom. That's from recruiting. It's something I'm very dear to myself in, that I want to be as a person, okay? You're either competing or you're not.
Yeah, I just think that this year the guys behind closed doors were able to see what a true player-led team looks like, and so the guys that are going to be back understand that that's really where it starts. So, you know, our job as coaches is to go out and try to improve the roster this summer, find the right pieces of the puzzle, because that's the way you keep the momentum. But these guys, again, sometimes you just have to do it to prove that it can happen, you know, and we did that 25 years ago when nobody thought we'd ever have a chance to play in the College World Series at the University of Nebraska. We did it, you know, and it's been 18 years since we hosted a regional. We've got the most wins since we've had since 2005, you know. These guys have laid the groundwork, but it doesn't just stop there, right? And these guys have proven time and time again that the best teams are player-led, and that's what they have. That's what we have to take to next year, is the understanding of the guys in the clubhouse, of what it takes to set the standard every single day, and they've had amazing ambassadors for that.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
And Napoleon Solo has taken the lead on the outside as they come to the top of the stretch. 3/4 up at 1:12.08 seconds, and they're into the stretch. And Paco Lopez and Napoleon Solo have the lead. Iron Honor makes his run on the outside. Chip Honcho is third. Giving way is Taj Mahal. Here's Iron Honor trying to come and get Napoleon Solo. These two to the final furlong. Napoleon Solo still there. Iron Honor on the outside. Cannot get him. Napoleon Solo and Paco Lopez have won the Preakness.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by the one and only, the Big A, Anthony STABILE. What's going on, buddy? How we doing? Oh, gee. He's rocking with those Mets.
Oh. Now, listen, I got myself in a lot of trouble the last time I came on here.
Shocker.
Because I got a run in my mouth that I went to go see Rodman.
Uh-oh.
And Jordan had her spies listening. Jordan wants to know why I'm seeing Rodman. Rodman thinks she's Jordan, as delusional as she is. I mean, so that ball, just for the record, to clear it up, this is a little bit of a stress ball for me. This was given to me by Jordan's daughter. So now Jordan knows she is Jordan. Jordan's daughter gave me this Mets ball because Jordan is a diehard Yankees fan.
Oh,
so that's all cleared up now without protecting the names to keep the innocent protected.
I couldn't believe the funniest thing about that. You just further kept incriminating yourself. I was like,
I'm worst. can't have dog in a bowl. I can't help it, man. I can't listen. I don't get the attention I used to get anymore. And I love you guys to begin with. So when I get on here, I'm completely unhinged. It's just I'm just unleashed. It's like you might as well be dangling pizza and Sydney Sweeney in front of me. Like I just can't control myself.
Oh, Lord. We just talked about in the first one of the hours we were doing, they all go away. It's like we get the best version of people because I think we don't follow any rules. It's just like a free-for-all.
I'm the beast of the rules. Exactly. I'm the beast of the rules, and bones are made to be broken, boys. That's how it works around here. Rules and bones, and they've both been broken, and I'm sure more will be broken in the future once I get this hip fixed. How about my man Chad Summers? Remember you asked me who I was rooting for with my heart? My man Chad Summers got it done in the Preakness. That's one of the realest guys I've ever had in my life, and he's doing right by his horse. I think you're going to see a good summer on a Napoleon Solo. I'm really, really happy for Chad and the connections because Chad did a great job with him, managing him. After a couple of really poor races this year, he got the job done in the Preakness in a nice style.
We've done this double-digit years. So you talking about him, you realize of all the things we've talked about, that's the only time I've seen you remotely emotional. Is kind of telling the job, like giving you a chance and the sentimental, like who you're rooting. I was like, oh my God, he's actually a human. Because I've seen you.
Oh, yeah, listen. Jordan has called me a bear. She said I'm 98% Teddy, 2% Grizzly. Get out of the way when the Grizzly comes out. But Chad is one of a few people that no matter where I am in life, I know if I pick up this phone that I'm calling you guys from Lil Kim today, by the way. My Mazda CX-5. I got a doctor's appointment here in about 15 minutes.
Time out. Pre-plastic.
I'm Biggie Balboa, buddy. So it's Lil Kim. I ride with Lil Kim. I'm Biggie dipped in white chocolate.
Funny style knows Lil Kim or like now Lil Kim?
No, come on, man. 1993 Lil Kim. You crazy? You're bugging. I'm messing with no Lil Kim now. The youngest one on the roster is like 40. Out of here. These girls, listen to me. I don't know how old you guys are. All these women my age are angry. I can't be dealing with angry. I need me a single mom who doesn't want to go out and party anymore, who's got a kid that adores me. I can't be dealing with these older, angry women, man. I can't. I got enough anger in my life. I hate 98% of the people on this planet. I don't need any more anger. I need Lil Kim. I got Lil Kim almost 5 years. I got Lil Kim almost 5 years. Yeah.
We can't take him anywhere. Lil Kim was.
I cannot be taken anywhere.
And what grown men are naming their little Honda cars?
It's a Mazda.
Number one, it's a Mazda CX-5. And listen, I don't know what your whip is, my man DB, but we can race for pinkies whenever you want. I had this thing going 130 going to Finger Lakes on Route 17 past Binghamton. I went past Binghamton, caught a cold when I went past in Lil Kim 2 summers ago.
I get made fun of. You'll never guess. I drive what is it? It's a Subaru Sport. It's like a little souped up Subaru Sport. And
you really gonna come swing at me in my CX-5? You driving a Subaru? Come on, man. You're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Out of here with that stuff, DB. I expect better than you. Ravi, why straighten this guy out, man? You've been with this guy every day. You got this guy driving a Subaru?
Listen, I'm in a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Again, DB, bring that Subaru sidekick. The hell out of here, man. That's garbage. If we were in Jersey right now, I'd tell you that was garbage.
Oh, all right, fine. This how you got the nickname, the Beast of the Belmont. My feelings are hurt. I thought I got hammered about 3 weeks straight over this thing. I thought I had kind of shaken it off, but now I'm kind of sensitive again.
I lost you guys.
Are we back? Hello. Please say we didn't lose him. We got him. Shane,
Do we look okay on our side, guys?
Yeah, you might want to try and relog back in there, Big A.
yeah. See if he can.
I got you now.
There he is. All right. So
I got you. Sorry about that. You got hammered 3 weeks ago. In which way?
Hey, I've been doing better. I haven't been in near as many closets by myself, so I haven't drank a ton. But the whole Subaru thing, we have a couple of car dealers that are always in the stream, and I just got I got murdered. I didn't know it was such a big deal, but apparently I have bad taste in cars.
Yeah, I mean, just stick to the sports, brother. You'll be all right.
All right.
Next time you need a car, call me. I love dealing with those people too. The tribal chief comes out when I go into a car dealership. Let me tell you that. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to incriminate myself. But Craig Hodges needed a car. I only go to her when I need to hit a 3 deep in the game. I got Craig Hodges a car. They wanted to charge this girl $480 a month with $3,000 down. I walked into that place with her. They gave her that car for $410 without a dime on the wood. And we walked out. I put the ones up. I said, you're tribal chief now? I walked out of that place. Hey, $480 and took out of here. Not happening. Not on this guy's watch.
Bushler, you went to Craig Hodges. You must have been in the Sahara, buddy. A drought?
I needed a three late in the game. I had no hope left. The starting lineup all hated me. I just went for a 3.
You couldn't go for
bing. Left corner, bing. Right corner, bing. Bing. She scored 9. Hodges scored 9 in 4 minutes, and everything was okay.
Yeah, I absolutely think I know what's wrong with your hip. All right, Beast. All right, let's cap this bad boy. Do you like the field?
So, the only podcast I've been doing, or radio show I've been doing longer than this one, is my friend Joe Withy out in the Pacific Northwest. And like you guys, I never met him either. 22 and a half years. So I was talking about this yesterday. The Derby's great. Americana, everybody gets pumped up. First Saturday in May. You know, it's literally part of the fabric of this country at this point. With that said, it is not the truest tale of a racehorse. They're all asked to go to 1.25 miles the first time. We don't have a field nearly that size the rest of the year. The biggest field you'll see the rest of the year is 14. Technically, they're allowed to run 16 in the Belmont, but that's never happening ever again. This field now, these horses, a handful of them have been 1.25 miles. They exit the Kentucky Derby. They have another month to mature. You know, and this is a story for another day, and I know you guys don't do a whole lot of horse racing, and I'm honored and privileged to be the horse racing guy, but at some point they're going to change this Triple Crown. And I wouldn't even be surprised, and everybody thinks I'm crazy when I say this. What else is new? I think it might even go away. Just because you're not going to get everybody on the same page much more. There's 2 different networks involved now. There's Churchill Downs acquired the rights to run the Preakness, so they have 2/3 of the Triple Crown. They can kind of call the shot. Naira has enough bullets and is the best racing in the country, if not the world, to start their own Triple Crown. Like, there's just a lot that's going to go on. But the Derby is not the truest testament to these horses. I think the Belmont 1.25 miles, and next year it'll go back to the 1.5 miles, and the Beast will really return because this 1.25 miles nonsense is child's play. I need that 1.5 miles. It's a truer testament to these horses. And they have a little bit more seasoning. They have a little bit more maturity underneath them, unlike myself, who will never mature. So they are, I think it's an easier race, especially at the 1.25 miles, to handicap. You know, the Derby was a story of trips, and it almost always is, but this year in particular, because I think 3 of the horses who I would have said, if you would have told me to pick 5 horses to win the Derby this year, 3 of the horses, 2 of them I picked, the other one I was on the fence about, they had 3 of the worst trips, and that was Renegade, Chief Wallaby, and Commandment. And those are the 3 horses I am going to focus in on tomorrow. So there's some speed in the race. The horse to Chief Wallaby's Inside Power Shift is going to be on the lead. I think Growth Equity for Chad Brown is going to show some speed. I think there's going to be not a great pace, but I think a fast enough, and the word I think is honest. There'll be an honest enough pace. Now, if you're looking at past performances, if you're advanced and you're handicapping this race, it's going to show you that Chief Wallaby was 10th early on in the Derby, right? He's going to be 3rd or 4th tomorrow early on. And obviously that upgrades his chances considerably. He's going to have a lot less work to do. It's a much smaller field to navigate. I mean, he got bounced around pretty good from the quarter pole to the 3/16 pole in the Kentucky Derby. And then again from the 3/16 pole to the 8th pole, wound up on the inside. When I try to handicap any Belmont Stakes, guys, I watch the Derby like 15 or 20 times, and I just isolate horses. And if you look at him, he got into a good deal of trouble, but he kept coming. And his running line shows that. He is gaining ground at every point of call in the Kentucky Derby, despite his trouble and winding up on the inside. So I think Chief Wallaby gets a better trip. I think he has a little less work to do late. And I honestly think when they turn for home tomorrow, they're going to have him to catch. I think he'll be on the lead with about a quarter of a mile to go. And Commandment will be right behind him. Renegade will be unleashing his big run. You know, the Derby kind of unfolded beautifully for a horse like Golden Tempo. Quick enough early pace with horses that didn't really survive. Got to the outside. You know, with a cleaner trip, Renegade wins the Derby. Maybe Chief Wallaby's 1st or 2nd. Golden Tempo, as much running as he had to do, he had a pretty easy go of things. He didn't get stopped at all. Like, his momentum was never interfered with. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen tomorrow. I just think the 2 horses I mentioned are a little more talented than him, and with clean trips. With all of them getting clean trips, I think he's the 3rd, if not the 4th best horse.
And the odds reflect that, I believe, with Golden Tempo at 9-2 behind Chief Wallaby and Renegade.
So that's pretty tight, though, Big A. So with the short odds, how are you going to try to make the most money?
So Naira has the best morning line maker in the country. It's a kid named David Aragona, and he's one of the best handicappers I know. I listen to nobody. I look at David's opinion. That's how good David is. I think he may have gotten this a little bit wrong. I think Renegade's going to be a heavy favorite. I think Renegade's going to be even money 6-5. I think Golden Tempo will, in fact, be the 2nd choice. Keep this in mind. It's the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. The horse, of course, won the Kentucky Derby, and she's a hometown girl. She's from the Saratoga area. So her family has roots in the harness track right across the street. Her family's a fantastic bunch of horsemen and women. Cherie DeVoe, I'm talking about, of course. So I think he'll be 2nd choice. I think Chief Wallaby will be somewhere in the 7-2, 4-1 range. The horse that I'm going to try to get into the money, who I think is going to be ignored, is the number 7 Commandment. And I wasn't his biggest fan going into the Derby. He proved a couple of things to me in the Derby. He proved that he could get himself into a ton of trouble and still run really, really well. He got beat less than 6 lengths in the Derby, fellas. He had trouble throughout. He got off slow, and from post 5, he wound up being pretty wide after getting off slowly. He's wide on both turns. He got into that same traffic jam that Chief Wallaby did on the far turn, and he only got beat like 5.5 lengths. He ran a big race. He gets a rider switch to John Velasquez. Now, Luis Saez is going to ride Power Shift. I get all that. Certain riders fit certain types of horses. And if I look down at the form and I see a speed horse, a horse that's in front most of the race, I want to see Luis Saez. And he's riding a speed horse. If I see a horse that wants to be 4 lengths off the lead, keep him out of trouble, I want to see one of the best of all time, and that's John Velasquez. And John Velasquez is going to climb aboard Commandment for the first time. I think he's going to fit him like a glove. So, and he's beaten Chief Wallaby twice. But Chief Wallaby has the blinkers on now, so he's a little more honed in and zoned in. I think he's the horse. Renegade's the horse that he's supposed to be the favorite, but I think his running style always leaves him a little vulnerable. And in a more truly run race, that's not going to have as much pace as the Derby. I think the shift swings in a horse like Chief Wallaby and even in Commandment's favor because they're going to be much closer to a tepid pace than he's going to be. So for me, it's Chief Wallaby, Commandment, and Renegade.
Let me ask you, because you mentioned shift, and I got a couple of buddies that with the quick pace of the race and only 9 in the field, they wanted to take a look at power shift for some sneaky longer odds. Yay or nay on power shift?
Listen, he's going to be loose on the lead. He has one of the best speed riders in the country, and Louis Saez on his back. It's funny. A lot of people think he's in there to set it up for Renegade. Mike Rapoli owns both horses. Power shift alone, and then in a partnership for Renegade. I think Power Shift is in the race because I'll tell you what, the Connections thought he was their best 3-year-old at one point, and he got a late start. The only time he was off the board was in the Tampa Bay Derby, which was kind of a little bit of a stretch for him to be there anyway, off just one race in which he lost. So my worry there is he doesn't get the bleeding medication Lasix in the stakes race. He didn't have it in the Tampa Bay Derby. His other 2 races, he ran really, really well, and then that race he kind of stunk a little bit. So I worry about the Lasix thing. Supposed to be a little warm up there tomorrow too. Yeah, I mean, if you like loose speed, and that track so far, the first 2 days of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, speed's been helpful. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you to bet the 1. Probably couldn't tell you to bet a Tino. If you want to bet the rest of them, I really can't. I can argue with anybody over. I can argue with the sky's blue if you want, but it's hard for me to argue because all of these horses, my rule, and I don't have a lot of absolutes in racing, fellas. If you tell me you like a 6-to-1 shot or higher, I ain't going to try to talk you off it. I don't want to be responsible for that. So, and all of those horses, besides the 3 I mentioned, they're all, I mean, Commandment's even going to be like 8-10-1. If you don't like Golden Tempo, Renegade, or Chief Wallaby, you're going to get paid tomorrow. So,
do the scattered showers bother you at all?
Nah, that track's been lightning. They have the best track man in the country in Glenn Kozak up there. I don't work for these guys anymore, and I still do PR for them. It's unbelievable. Glenn's a good man. Glenn's a good man, and Glenn does a really, really good job. Glenn's the best track man I've ever seen. So, that track will be fine.
There you go.
All right, brother. Stay off the trampolines and the bounce houses, man. Get that hip fixed.
And the Craig Hodgeses.
I never did that. 2 more things to add on to the list.
Boing.
Don't be a stranger either. Don't just call me for horse races. I'm going to have some news in July. I'm going to talk. I'll give you guys I'll reach out to Shane, who still didn't give me my Roman Reigns music, but we'll forgive him.
Anytime, just hit me. You know the deal.
Yes, sir. Let me know if you want anything tomorrow too.
You got it.
All right, that's our guy, Big A.
Guys, be well.
Anthony Stabile, the best. We love Big A.
I'm more of a screamer, fellas.
I'm just telling you, I'm never going. I mean, Craig Hodges could shoot that thing, but yeah, I ain't doing it.
More of a Steve Kerr guy myself. That's the show for today. We appreciate all of our guests, especially our guy Anthony Stabile. I can't wait to talk to him and see what he's got going on in July. If you didn't notice, a lot of people in the chat talking about it. Mont Hudson back on campus.
Yeah.
Letting everybody know, whatever that's worth.
I'm maintaining the late flip. Come on, baby.
Mont Hudson's on campus, just so everybody knows. It's no big deal.
I was going back and forth with him last night, and I was going to say something, and I was like, if this gets out, man, it would have had to have come from me, so I didn't say a word.
It's cool to tell your co-host, too. That's fine.
I forgot by then.
If you're trying to beat the heat and the crowds this college baseball tournament, the games are all going to be on at Nebraska Ale House. Enjoy great food, lots of local beers, and place your sports bets just a few steps away in the Warhorse Sportsbook. And, hey, maybe you're trying to get something going on at Belmont Stakes as well. You could head over to the Nebraska Ale House within Warhorse Sportsbook for that as well. Go check them out, and we'll have a little announcement for you next week as well. Might be doing a little show with Rico over there on Thursday. We'll see what happens.
A little suave.
You know, a little college baseball preview show over at the old Ale House.
We're gonna turn Suave loose.
I mean, the only way he gets out is when he's turned loose.
Oh Lord,
hard to keep that one on on much of a tether.
As long as he's not squeezing chickens, we're good.
I was like biting the blanket.
He is a blanket biter, though.
And you're just like looking around, and I just like had this blanket, and I was like pulling at it, and then I just like brought it up, and I was just like biting it because I was so nervous.
Incredible.
I'm gonna pass out.
I won't say. I was like biting on. I had a blanket on me, and I was like biting the blanket.
That's the show for today. That's TBM Ravi Lulla. We will be back on Monday with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.